Let's see how we doing. All right, welcome back to Ramblings of a Mad Guy. Continuing our theme of today, somewhat honoring Charlie Kirk, his memory, his arguments, advancing his mission. Let's start with this, maybe.
But if you go before that, why would he make us, knowing what we would become and knowing the evil that the earth would become?
Why didn't God create an in-between of eternal life and eternal death?
Last week, Dr. Frank Turek was literally in the back of the car with Charlie Kirk on the way to the hospital, giving him CPR as he was bleeding out. This week, he is somehow back on the college campus answering questions from students. These conversations are at the center of the spiritual battle. We don't have political problems in America. We have political symptoms of spiritual problems. This Q&A will make that very clear. Let's dive in.
Yes, ma'am. Go ahead. What's your name?
Hi, my name is Rose Daphne. I'm from Houston, Texas, and I'm a proud transgender woman. I'd like to say that Charlie Kirk claimed that my people are an abomination and a middle finger to God. I'd like to say that in the Bible it says that we are all created in God's image, but we are still killed by those who tout Christian love. I'm not here to debate my humanity. I'm not here to debate the humanity of any of my sisters who have been murdered, again, 13 in the city of Houston, Texas. But I'm here to remind everyone that my people are suffering because of the hatred that is parroted through the mouths of people like Charlie Kirk. He has called for the destruction of my people, and we are dying for it, and we are suffering for it.
Okay,
That's all I have to say tonight.
Okay.
Jeez.
No. Now, excuse me, hold on. I need to respond to that. And that is, if disagreement is hate, then she just expressed hate. Disagreement is not hate. It can be, obviously, but saying that somebody is going down the wrong road in their life is not hate, it's love. That's what Charlie was saying in the video before. When Jesus talks to the woman caught in adultery, he says, go and sin no more. Proof of things that are going to hurt people. You try and tell them that God wants them to be whole. And here is the way to do it. So disagreement isn't necessarily hate. Love does not mean approval. And giving a middle finger to God, the God who created you and sacrificed himself to save you, is obviously something that is very, very sad and just demonstrates rebellion and hurt. But you know what? Whatever the young lady's name was, Jesus died for her too.
Amen.
Jesus died for me. Jesus died for you.
I want to offer compassion to the questioner who just came up, because that person is believing lies. That person has bought into a counterfeit of what is actually good for them. They believe.
It's true. If you need any, I've been watching, this might be important, because I think why people think Charlie Kirk was hateful or perpetuated hate speech or something like that, was that he didn't validate and confirm people's delusions about their identity. And what's his name again? Frank Turek sort of wisely pointed out, disagreement is not hate. In fact, if somebody is doing something destructive to themselves, to their bodies, then it would actually be loving to try to stop them. This person, Mia Hughes, now we could...
Generally, I think...
This is a good video, but anyway, so Mia Hughes is a researcher who's been researching the beginning of the trans identity movement, especially on the medical side, how this became a medicalized thing where you are castrating and giving puberty blockers to young children Um, and what was the thing that she said that was so relevant to that? Dang, I forgot. Look at that. Guess I didn't have enough coffee. Okay, so let's.
That when people say that they identify as trans, it's because in their mind they think of themselves as trans.
Right, I struggled. That's why I was on the neutral, because what does it even mean that they are trans?
Right.
Because there's no such thing as a transgender child, I can only stand here. Would you believe a child who said they were a unicorn? No, of course not. There's no such thing, and you can't be a unicorn.
Gender identity activists will tell me that I am agender, that I have the gender identity of not having a gender identity. So they agree that some people don't have a gender identity. Therefore, I mean, my position is let's extend that to everyone, because no one's been proven to have a gender identity, but I feel like we're at least on the same page that not everyone has one.
We should generally believe people when they express who they are. Move. Okay, absolutely agree and strongly disagree.
All right, so generally, which is the tone of this question, I'm going to learn about people.
Hey, what's up, Baranowicz? Yeah, this is open, bro. This is open. Let's bring you into the Discord. Let's say, I don't know, open debate. Let's get you in here. Get that link. If you go ahead and click that link, you'll have to accept the rules in the Discord page. They should just pop up. Otherwise, there's a rules tab, and then you should be able to join this stage, and I will bring you up. So, sweet. Baranowicz. Sorry, not on Discord. Yeah, I really should figure out. I know people on TikTok and stuff use a different program where you can like kind of call in. I should probably use that, because then you don't have to download any app. But I think the Discord will work just on your browser. I don't even know if you have to sign in. StreamYard. What is StreamYard? I mean, it might be about time that I set up a new system for people actually joining, to be honest. But is this like a hard thing for me to... What the... Guess, multi-stream? I don't know. It seems like a nightmare. Well, what's up, brother? What's up? What were you... What's your take or opinion? Or are you kind of pro either abortion or pro trans or pro any of the things that sort of we're defending today? Or are you kind of on... Did you identify with Charlie Kirk's positions on stuff? Or where do you stand generally in this? Are you a Christian? Are you an atheist? We can kind of have an informal chat in the text here. Totally up to you. But yeah, let's you're pro-life. Sweet. Yeah, I think that is the common sense position. So this whole week has kind of been the theme of this stream. Abortion is wrong, open debate, honoring Charlie Kirk. We did all of the abortion arguments on Monday, so we got into them. I'm curious maybe just for the sake of conversation, what did you particularly not agree with Kirk on? Or is there anything in regards to abortion that you did not agree with Kirk on? And maybe we can get to that. I don't want to watch this guy's commentary of this video. I prefer to watch the
I understand your point.
Actual video.
My one question is, if the Bible teaches love and acceptance of everybody, why are we stripping rights away from minorities?
Okay.
That is such a broad question. What do you mean stripping rights away from minorities? Also, the Bible does not teach love and acceptance of anybody, irregardless of, their sort of what they're saying or doing at any given time. Yes, it teaches love of even thy enemies, of course, but not acceptance. Certainly not acceptance. In fact, Jesus would constantly say to sinners, repent, turn away from the sin, right? That's not acceptance. You don't accept sin. You don't abide by it. You can still love people even if you don't accept them or what they're doing. Yeah, I'm happy to chat as a possible instead of a StreamYard chat. I mean, I can try. Let me take this off. If it takes less than like 2 seconds, pretty much, I'll do it. I don't want to distract too much from the stream here. But yeah, so I think there's this misconception that the Bible, like Christians have to accept everybody's lifestyles. Actually, Christianity is one of those religions that uniquely draws boundaries and prescribes laws for how you are supposed to. I don't know. I saw let's see, live streams. Okay. Gotcha. So this is like, it's funny when people use Christianity, like, well, you're a Christian, so you have to agree with me. You're a Christian, so you have to agree with me. It's like, when has that ever been what Christianity is about? When has that ever been about that, you know? Well, you're a Christian, so you do have to support the castration of children. Sure. Sure, buddy. Okay. Live stream. YouTube. I'm already doing a live stream. How do I just let people hop in? What is this? On-air webinar? What is this? What is going on here? StreamYard. I have joined a StreamYard stream before. Let me use a little chat GPT. You're Catholic too. Cool, sweet. I'm not Catholic, by the way. I'm a catechumen in the Orthodox Church. So I'm not even fully Orthodox, but that's what I identify with. That's what I identify with. So you have to accept it. How do I let people call into my stream on StreamYard? Streaming from OBS Studio. So you have to run your whole stream in StreamYard. StreamYard backstage. Okay. Yeah, it's a little complex. I'm not exactly sure how this works. This would be something I should probably do off stream, not like figure all this out. Okay, sure. Yep. Let's do OBS virtual camera. Start virtual camera. High def. All right. Maybe that'll work. There you go. And if I go solo mode, it kind of works. Okay. Ramblings. I don't know why I'm doing this. It's so boring. Oh, you guys can't even see what I'm doing. Okay. Now I presenter invite guest. Okay. We're doing it. It's happening. All right, hop in there, brother. Let's see if that works. I don't know why I'm doing this. Okay. Okay, there's that. All right. Infinite regress. I love it. Uh, then we're gonna have. Let me know if that works, brother. Let me know if that link works. I really. Okay, we got someone. We got someone. Boom, boom. We're bossing. All right, Barrow Nowiche.
Ah, hello.
Oh, welcome. It worked. Does it work? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you fine. Is my audio okay? No
Yes,
issues?
that's perfect, brother. It's perfect. Welcome. Welcome to the
Oh,
stream.
yeah. Sorry for making you do all that extra lead work.
No, it's good, man. It's good. I like learning new stuff. It's better. This is a much easier call-in system than I've had in the past, so that's great.
Yeah, it offers a lot more safety as well because if you bring someone in, you can make yourself full screen. So if someone was to try and do something, it wouldn't show up on the stream.
Interesting. Sweet. Okay, cool. Well, what are your thoughts, brother? What are your thoughts? How long have you been pro-life? Have you always been pro-life? You've raised Catholic, or did you convert, or where are you at?
Oh, so I mean, I've always been Catholic, but pro-life was something that I heavily looked into, especially when it come to the Roe v. Wade case that was overturned.
Gotcha.
So I pretty much just delved into all the information about, like pro-life and pro-choice, and I just heavily stuck with pro-life because of, for me, the most like poignant point of evidence was it was pointing out that when a country accepts abortion, it it skyrockets by like 400%. Yeah, so it's not, it's not people aren't getting an abortion because of a medical issue or due to a horrendous situation. They're doing it because just they've slept with someone and they don't want to carry through with the term. Yeah, because you could also use it as if you were to, as a woman, if you were to get impregnated by a man, you could blackmail that man and say, well, if you don't do this, I'm going to terminate the pregnancy. Mm.
Because the man doesn't feel ready or whatever, capable, or they don't have enough money. What it really is at the end of the day is a blood sacrifice in most cases, in like 98% of cases. It's a blood sacrifice for your future, what you perceive to be your future. Well, I'm still in college. Well, I got to get my degree. Well, I don't have $1 million. Oh, a kid is expensive. It's like, well, that has never been a concern in history, and that should never
Yeah,
be
they're
a
basically
primary
just
concern.
simplifying murder to say, oh, well, because it gets in the way of my career. It's like, have you seen the funny meme where it's like the Aztecs, we're going to sacrifice you because we want a bountiful harvest, and it's modern day, oh, I'm going to sacrifice you because I need a career.
Oh no, I know. That makes sense. Yeah, I mean
It
that's
does, it
exactly
does,
what it
yeah.
is. That's exactly what it is. Okay, so then also there's the case where
Mm. Yeah. Also, if you actually wanted to change someone's opinion, if someone had, they were actually of the opinion of the birth rate or the population is too like much, just say to them, okay, then do you want to do what China did, where they were dragging children out of the homes and just killing them? Mm. Yeah, I was aware of Charlie, and I did see a few of his videos. Obviously, with the obviously like sad passing of his assassination, I did really throw myself into all of his stuff and his viewpoints and stuff like that. And to tell the truth, I was overwhelmingly shocked that they chose this man to assassinate because to me, Charlie was the nice, moderate guy. He wasn't an extremist. He wasn't a horrible guy. He was a nice guy who was reaching across the aisle to these people, and they killed him. Oh no, I don't blame you. There is a lot of conspiracy surrounding Charlie's case. I would say it's definitely political because we've seen before even the case has gone to trial, we've seen evidence that Tyler Robinson, he went to college for one semester and he come back completely radicalized from what a lot of people have said. And it was the fact of what he engraved on the bullet casings. Like Bella Ciao is an anti-fascist song. And he was also throwing in the meme stuff to try and get that community like integrated into the extremist side. The same thing that the Christchurch shooter did. He did a lot of memes on his weapons to try and implicate that crowd who uses those memes into the extremists. Oh no, I haven't actually. Mm. Or like the Vikings. Mm. Yeah, he wrote like a lot of stuff on his gun, and I think in the video of the live stream he said, "Oh, subscribe to PewDiePie" and stuff. Oh yeah, no, I saw that one. Yeah, basically to empower fear of their belief onto other people. Mm. Yeah, he said that it was a case of someone was asking him like, "Oh, how many off the top of your heads of like mass shooters committed by trans people?" And Charlie said too much. So the guy said, okay, then, well, how many mass shootings has there been in the US? And Charlie said, well, it depends. Are you talking just regular or like gang related? And then that was when he was shot. Yeah. Yeah, especially when it come out that his roommate slash lover was a trans person as well. So no worries.
Um, okay, you should be able to hear me now. Infamous, let me know in the chat. So I think this rises. Yes, there's a political element to that. 100%. I think it rises above the political sphere. I think this was a blood ritual forced in front of millions and millions of eyes. Everyone I've talked to, pretty much everyone. Some people obviously they're on Live Leak every day and they love watching beheadings and whatever. But for me, I saw the video completely by accident. It just appeared in front of me on Twitter. It's not like I wasn't.
I was
looking
the
for
same
stuff.
way.
Were
It
you
was
the
just,
same way?
like, oh, breaking news, Charlie Kirk shot, and
Yeah.
that was the video.
And that was the video, and it's so graphic, and I got the close up, and it was just like traumatizing. And then other people I've talked
And
to
the video
too.
of where he's getting dragged to the car, that was
Yeah,
horrible.
that was really, really sickening to watch. Other people I knew in real life, someone was like, "You gotta watch this," and like shoved their phone in their face, and it's this horrific beheading, if you will. I say beheading because on the Julian calendar in the Orthodox Church, on that day, so that night is the vigil, and the next morning is the liturgy for the beheading of Saint John the Baptist, the forerunner. And I was already thinking this, but then I talked with my priest after the service about this, and there really is a parallel of being executed in the neck for speaking freely, for standing up to authoritative government power, which is exactly what St. John the Baptist was doing. The reason he was beheaded was because he was decrying.
He was speaking out about Jesus, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was speaking out about Jesus, but actually Herod didn't want to kill John the Baptist, really. He didn't mind part of it was he was afraid that the people would revolt because everybody knew and saw that John the Baptist was a prophet. But the specific offense that John the Baptist was killed for was shaming and decrying and imploring Herod not to marry his brother's wife. And so his brother's wife is Herodias, and the famous scene is Herodias has her beautiful daughter, so there's also this kind of strange incestual thing to it. Do this very sexy dance in the king's court. Herod says, "Oh, I'll give you anything you want, up to half of my kingdom." She says, "I want the head of John the Baptist." You know the rest of the story, right? Herod delivers it to the daughter on a silver platter, and the daughter brings it to her mother. So specifically what John the Baptist was calling out, which led to his execution, was the abuse of power and basically a hatred for the law of God within the king, or he had a Roman emperor above him, but the effective king of that region. And it's there's parallels with Charlie Kirk. You have the one parallel, obviously, being executed in the neck. That's one, but also speaking this truth to power, so to say. So I thought that was interesting. That's something I can't stop thinking about, as well as the day before that Urena on the bus lady, where the guy executed her in the neck.
Oh, yeah.
Demons and Masonic satanic cults love they love blurring the lines and pairing masculine and feminine together in their sacrifices and stuff like that. So look, I'm not saying there's one person. I'm not saying George Bush did Charlie Kirk. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying there is a real spiritual demonic realm and an angelic realm. And these sort of assassinations, I think where they are planned ultimately is in that demonic sphere, which then, the demons use their influence on humans who abide with them. So that's where I see the highest level of it going. And I sort of have been warning my chat, because even yesterday, a couple people in my chat were like, they were kind of going at each other. and we usually get along. I'm like, listen. This is what the demons want. They want the left versus right. They want more violence. They want more this and that. I think the important thing is to turn to Christ and fight the true enemy, which is sin, which is the evil one. So anyway, but
yeah, because it's like the old adage of demons will appear as beautiful to entice you, whereas angels will appear as frightening because they are the wards against the demons.
Right. Yeah, that's a good point. And I think it's said exactly 365 times in the Bible, at least in the King James, be not afraid. Do not be afraid. And of course, most of those references are to when either the angel of the Lord or angels.
Oh yeah, when the angels would appear and in their form because of what they formed as, they were like, "Do not be afraid. I know I'm scary, but I'm not."
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So they have this sort of terrifying appearance or presentation, but I just find it interesting that 365 times, and there's 365 days in the year. It's like the Lord has to tell us pretty much every day, be not afraid. Like, we shouldn't take this to be afraid of the left or of trans people or anything else, but we should stand up for the values that Charlie Kirk stood up for, I think.
Oh yeah, no, definitely.
Infamous in our chat says, I hate the way people are using his death for their messages. If it's anything other than what the person thought, then it's wrong, IMO. Yeah, I think I've seen people on the right and the left co-opt Charlie Kirk's, like, they'll like quote mine him or something and be like, well, he would have definitely been against this and he would have definitely been against that. And people will do that going forward. I think it's important for us not to psychologize Charlie Kirk and pretend that we know exactly what he stood for.
Yeah, it's not wise to speak of him post-mortem because it's a bit like me saying, if George Washington was around, he would be in favor of like increased taxes. And
right.
Go, well,
yeah.
Hang on.
Well, how could you know? Yeah, exactly. Right. That was something that, so Benjamin Netanyahu, which is just so strange, went on, I think it was either Fox News or CNN or something like that. And he read like 2 sentences out of context from a letter that Charlie Kirk had written him. And basically he was saying, well, this is a time to stand by Israel. And it's like, oh, is it? Is it really, Netanyahu? Why don't you release the whole letter? Or,
yeah, where he's in that case, he's just using Charlie as like a prop up thing to go, oh, Charlie supports Israel, so because of that, you have to support me. And it's like, well, no. He may have supported Israel, but that doesn't mean, oh, because he did this, we can do that.
Yeah, and then also we just don't know where he would have moved to on the Israel thing. Like, for instance, if you asked me like 4 months ago or something, do you support Israel? I probably would have just flat out said, yes, I mean, Hamas is a terrorist group and they kidnapped all those people and whatever. But then I learned last month, like, oh, wait a second, or at least I realized, like, oh, wait a second, the Israeli intelligence knew about the terror attack and did nothing to stop it. So then who is all the... So not now, it's not like I'm pro-Hamas or pro-Palestine, but I at least don't know exactly where I stand, right? I wouldn't be so sure. Of course that could happen with Charlie Kirk if he learned new information. So... Anyway, that's very interesting. It sounds like you're from across the pond over there. Whereabouts in the British Isles are you from?
Like Northern England.
Northern England, gotcha, sweet. So I saw on YouTube or Twitter or something, this giant march in London, a memorial for Charlie Kirk. Did you hear about that or see that? Or
so the march there was a lot of memorials for Charlie Kirk during the march, but the march was for something separate.
Oh, it was? Okay, interesting. And that's the one where there's like millions and millions of people or something?
Yeah, they reckon it was about 3 million people.
Wow. And that was led by Tommy Robinson, right?
Yeah.
You're getting a little bit of you're getting a little memes in the chat because we have an Irish regular infamous in our chat because Britain. I feel like northern English people and Irish people probably have more in common than they have.
Oh yeah, we've got a lot of Irish in Northern England.
Yeah,
hell of a lot of them.
That's interesting. So Tommy Robinson is also a bit of a controversial figure in England, but I appreciate what he's doing. How do you think he connects? Why do you think he's associated with the Charlie Kirk message, if he is at all?
I think it's because people view Tommy as like the UK's version of Charlie, where
Yep.
he'll go out and say this, and he's happy to broadcast what he believes to the public. So I think a
Yep.
lot of people view in Tommy what they see in Charlie.
And if I'm not mistaken, Tommy Robinson was arrested. Maybe I think that was in Canada.
Oh yeah,
actually,
he's
but
been arrested a few times.
that's crazy for freedom of speech. Are you worried about that? And so this is relevant because this is probably Charlie Kirk's most, at least his most foundational perspective is freedom of speech, which leads to
Oh
every
yeah, I
other
mean, I've
freedom.
been worried about that in the UK for a long time. There was a famous instance of this actually goes back to what we were saying. There was a woman who was protesting a abortion clinic in the UK. So she went round the corner of the clinic and began to pray silently, and she was arrested for praying silently.
What?
Yeah, so she was literally arrested for thought crime.
That is a thought crime. That's even worse. That's a prayer crime. Oh no. That's horrendous. Of course, then there's the comedian as well who was arrested for telling a joke about transgender
Oh yeah, he was
people.
arrested coming back to the UK for stuff he tweeted about.
I mean, that's concerning, isn't it?
Very concerning, and we've got many, many more cases like that in the UK of people who have simply said or posted something who are being arrested.
Wow. Wow. Incredible. In the worst way. How? I mean, is there no constitution? There's no protection for the freedom of speech in England, like, or they got rid of it, or how? Do you know anything about
Oh, so technically the UK does have a constitution. However, it's not enforced, and also it can be changed by not like votes or politicians, but by judges.
that? Wow. So any judge can just kind of, oh well.
Yeah, any judge can come in and go, right, I'm going to change this, and they can do.
That is just horrendous. I mean, that's like such a.
Yeah, because at least with the US, if they're going to make an amendment or a change, they have to go all the way through the Senate for it.
Wow, that's wild. Now it's just a little bit off topic, but maybe it'll come back around. How are you a British Catholic? My understanding is most British people are either Anglican or atheist or something like that.
Oh, it's a bit of a weird split in the UK between Protestants and Catholics. Yeah, so it's bit of a weird split that there's a lot of history behind it.
Yeah. That's interesting. Because I always heard, of course, Irish Catholic. That's like the thing you hear. But I guess probably in Northern England, there's a lot of Catholic roots as well.
Oh yeah, in Northern England, there's a lot of Catholic roots because we've got a big Irish roots population as well. As a matter of fact, where I live, there's 2 cathedrals, and I think we're the only city to have 2 cathedrals outside of Vatican City.
Really? Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, 2 cathedrals. Well, because England was such a Catholic bastion. I mean, it was one of the early nations to be converted, and
there was a very Catholic-based nation, and then there was a lot of. We had Henry VIII, who made the Church of England because he wanted to divorce his wife.
Exactly.
And then that became, and then obviously the Reformation.
Yeah, the Church of England. That was sort of because I was an Episcopal before, which is basically an American Anglican before I became Orthodox, and that was one of the things where I realized, oh well, apostolic succession is important. I think. I mean, Jesus said he's going to set up a church. Seems like there should have been a church that he actually set up between the 1st century and the 15th century, or whenever the Reformation happens. So apostolic succession important, and I just wasn't convinced that Henry VIII's sort of like desire to divorce his wife qualified for a proper apostolic succession.
Yeah, because he, despite being Catholic, if you wanted a divorce at those times, you had to go through the church itself, and the church denied him. Right. So he said, oh, okay, then, well, I'm the king, so I've got the power to make my own church that will allow the divorce. And then from that stemmed the rise of Protestantism. And then obviously the Reformation really drove that point home.
Wow. Yeah, that's interesting. And we have another friend that's often in the chat named Choney. And he's a British fella from, I think, Dover or something. He lives in Dover. And he's an Orthodox. And he showed me a picture. They have a beautiful Orthodox, I don't know if it's a cathedral, but giant church. Is there any Orthodox influence in your area that you live in?
There's a few places that have there's actually an old Norwegian church down by the docks where I live.
Yeah.
So we do have a bit of like everything influenced in it. But I couldn't really say about other Orthodox places in the UK.
Yeah. Had you come across any, or like, had you ever come across any Orthodox things on YouTube or anything like that, or were you kind of just like, Charlie Kirk just commented in my chat. Wow, whoa, that's amazing. He said, "How do you deal with the hole in your neck going septic?" Commenting from purgatory. Are you saying you're Charlie Kirk and you're in purgatory, and the hole in your neck is going septic, even though you're in a spiritual realm? This is the high IQ status of the people that celebrate this death and revel in violence. The demons, truly. Let me ask you, Charlie Kirk. What inspired you? What compelled you in your spirit to, one, change your name or make this account on YouTube, and then two, to post that horrendous comment? I'm just curious. What inspired you? Was it hatred, or do you feel like you're fighting the good fight, or are you quite literally a demon that has access to a computer?
I don't think they would find this funny as well if a leftist talker got shot and someone else did that. I don't think they would find it
should
funny.
I change my name to George Floyd and just respond to him like George Floyd?
Yeah, if you did that, they'd go, you can't do that. And it's like, well, why not?
Yeah, exactly. He goes, bro, I need advice. It's like, yeah, you do need advice. I think you need advice from a priest, not from me. I don't know, because my advice, I want to be rage baited. There's something within me. I think we all have a dual nature, that we enjoy being rage baited and want to fight or something. But it's almost more powerful, isn't it, to pray for this person, right? Dear, I don't want
it
even
makes
want
them
to
more
believe.
upset as well.
It does make him more upset. Like, so, Lord Jesus Christ, Son of God, have mercy on me, a sinner. I pray for the salvation and the turning around of Charlie Kirk. I pray for the real Charlie Kirk, of course, for his soul to enter your beautiful paradise and be with you forever. I pray for the safety and the comfort of his family, that you send your angels and your Son and your Holy Spirit and your most holy Theotokos, your mother, to be with them. But I also pray for this fake imposter Charlie Kirk, this demon in my chat, that he understand what he's doing.
Do you know what these people don't realize as well? When they are cheering this type of thing on, what they are actually doing is radicalizing people.
Yeah, that's true. Well, I think they
so
like
as
that.
a matter of fact,
They
these
want that.
leftists are actually converting more people to the far right than the far right could ever do.
Oh, totally. 100%. Yeah. And actually, even more infuriating to them, he says, your mom called me a demon last night. Oh, I bet you did. I bet you did. What they
high IQ bands.
Very high IQ. Yeah, this is like, and part of the time when I see this, I go, well, okay, this is like an 8-year-old. Like sometimes I play League of Legends, this horrific, also demonic video game. And then people are so like stupid and mean and stuff on the thing. And you just have to remember that they're like 11 years old. So that's possible. Yeah. We're just dealing with like an edgy 12-year-old who, you know, he didn't get his Adderall prescription this morning because his mom is in the... No, I'm not going to do the same thing he did. Okay. So what was I saying? Oh, the thing they hate even more is that this is actually bringing people to Christ as well. And that's the exact opposite of what they want. So far left, far right, in a way, I think they actually like when there's an opposition on the far right, because it validates a level of like violence and anger. And they say, well, yeah, so they're Nazis, so we get to be anti-fascists or whatever. They have no idea what that even means, but they call themselves that.
The thing is as well, though, that when they call these people Nazis, they have no idea what an actual true Nazi is. If Nazis were a real thing that existed in today, they would be screwed.
Right. Well, yeah, because they're all gay and they're all trans and they're all like minorities, so to speak, and literally everything the Nazis would be killing right now. Did we rage bait him to leave? Did we pray bait him? I don't know. Come back. Give us more sick burns if you're still here, Charlie Kirk. I'm not even a leftist. I'm a radical centrist. And where do you stand with Christ, my friend? Are you a Christian? I have a feeling I know the answer, but I'd like to... Are you an? Let me ask this: Are you an open Satanist, or do you accidentally do his will? That's what I'm wondering. You're a radical centrist. I find that hard to believe. But let's hear it.
Yeah,
so what's your take on
radical centrism is hard to believe, yeah.
For one, it doesn't even make sense. So it's like, yeah, it's like a square circle. To the radical centrists, what is your view of abortion? Do you support abortion the way that you support killing a fully grown human being? Or are you against abortion, but you're for the death of Charlie Kirk? He says Jesus is hot. I mean, fair enough. That's not really anything. This is the first time we've gotten a hater in the chat. Most people over this week that I've been doing this memorial stream have been super pro Charlie Kirk and super, understanding and sad and respectful, at least, even if they didn't agree with his politics and stuff like that. But I'm certainly happy to have this hater here. I'd like to. Hey, Charlie Kirk, there's no way. What are what are the odds this guy wants to have a in-person chat on StreamYard? What are the odds?
Maybe. I mean, you posted the link before, didn't you?
Yeah.
If you bring him on stream, though, just make sure you go full screen in case he posts like a video or something that gets you.
True.
Yeah.
Good point. Yeah. Go ahead and Go ahead and join that link, Charlie Kirk, if you're the great debater that we all think you are.
I want to hear what his radical centrism is.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And I wonder if we'll be able to hear how much acne he has on his face. That'd be interesting. Okay, so when someone is aborted, their soul is simply transported to the womb of a woman who wants the baby, is my understanding. This was revealed to me by sources IP grabber. I don't even know what that means, but when someone is aborted, their soul is simply transported to the womb of a woman who wants to be. So you're like some kind of strange, like tarot card, like witch. Is that what you are?
like a Buddhist, where it's like if you die, you go somewhere else.
And I'm not even saying. I used to believe that type of stuff when I was a new age, like agnostic weirdo. Like, well, abortion's not that bad because life is everywhere, man. And like a baby, maybe that baby didn't want to be born and whatever. And that's what the new age does to you. I can't tell if he's trolling or not. He probably is, but that's interesting nonetheless. It's completely retarded, but anyway. Interesting. Wow. Have you witnessed any people in real life celebrating the death of Charlie Kirk, or no? To bear.
Not myself, no. I've mostly just seen it all online.
Yeah, a lot of it's online, and that's always something to be cautious about, like latching on to, because again, the demons love for us to get enraged, right? So they, in a way, part of the celebration itself is demonic, but also the fact that we're seeing it everywhere is demonic, because it's really such a small portion of people probably who genuinely actually are happy about an assassination, but it's front and center, just like the video itself was forced onto us to try to make us fearful, angry, upset. Charlie Kirk is a member of the Jedi Order. Imagine Charlie Kirk x Tyler Robinson, toxic, doomed, yayo. I wonder if he's talking about Tommy Robinson. And I don't know.
No, Tyler Robinson was the shooter.
Is that the name of the shooter?
Similar names, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, interesting. I don't know what a toxic, doomed, yayo is, but anyway. What was I saying? I was saying something. Oh yeah, so they would love for us to get enraged. I unfortunately have been exposed to people that celebrate his death openly, because I'm a stand-up comedian in Los Angeles, which is one of the most demonic cities on earth, and stand-up comedians are completely godless. Oh shit! I got a very awkward text. Oh well. So interesting. Charlie Kirk, I'm curious, where else have you tried this act, and has it worked on anybody? I'm curious. I don't mean worked like they thought you were Charlie Kirk. I mean worked like they actually got rage baited by your sort of edgy Xbox Live material. I'm always curious about that. Let's see.
Yeah, the Modern Warfare 2 lobbies ended a long time ago, you know.
Exactly. Now, is this a thing? Can I share my screen on this? Wow. Okay. Let's do that. Screen 1, share. Okay, now it just goes to... I don't even know how this works. Okay, maybe we'll... That? I guess. So then if I do this, is it like...
Oh, yeah.
Let's do... I don't know. Okay. And then if I do this, how does that? It's like the trippiest
Oh, yeah,
thing
so
ever.
that pulls up your main screen, and that's your browser. So I think if you go to
Like if
something
I-
else, it should be full. Oh, yeah, there you go, yeah.
Okay. All right. And that's like doable, I guess. Okay.
Yeah, so you can, yeah, there you go.
You're the first to get rage baited. You got me to broke kayfabe though, so we're 1 for 1. I don't even understand the language really. I'm the first to get rage baited. Well, I'm glad I could be your first.
Yeah,
if this
you really
counts.
got angry before.
Yeah, I
you know,
really
you were
got
shouting
pissed.
a lot, and I had to tell you to calm down, you know, bro.
Yeah, dude, someone's here holding me back, bro. Otherwise, I'd be punching my screen right now. I don't know who kayfabe is though. I feel like I've heard of that name. Let's see, kayfabe.
Yeah, I've heard kayfabe before, but I forget what it is.
Oh, it's like a professional wrestling term. The suspension of disbelief essential to creating and maintaining the non-wrestling aspects of the industry. Oh, so he's doing a... I see. He's doing his wrestling persona as Charlie Kirk. And I got him to break. 0.1 for me, 0.0 for you. I am the winner.
Over.
It's over. You're done, buddy. You're toast, Buster. Okay, well, maybe we can actually give this guy something interesting to chew on, although I don't think that's why he's particularly here. Now, I had some videos. I have a videos to destroy.
Liberty, this is...
Well, this is a deep cut. This one might be too deep. You know what? We've done this before, but this might be something. This might be illuminating for all of us, especially in a time where someone respectable and beloved is killed, and it causes us to ask the question, why, God? Why this life? Why this way? Why so horrific? This is a great parable.
I'll mute them while you play that.
Sure. Appreciate you.
There's a famous story, and I forget what book this is from, but it tells of a Russian traveler who is walking through the forests and villages of old Russia, and a mysterious
There's actually no
traveler
audio
joins and
coming
asks,
through.
I'm going.
I don't know if that's because of the
let's see.
stream setup.
That might be, yeah, exactly. Let me see if I can fix that, because that would be important. Okay, StreamYard is sharing your screen. That's great. Let's see if I can, like...
I think it might just be... Tell you what, then. I need to jump off anyway, so
Okay.
I'll let you go back to running your usual schedule.
Sure.
But thank you for having me, Chief. It's been a great conversation.
Yeah, appreciate you, man. Come back anytime you like. We're streaming all the time, so it was really nice to have you, and I appreciate you joining and giving us some of your thoughts and perspectives.
Oh, thank you very much, Chief. Anyways, have a great stream, and God bless.
You too. God bless you, brother. God bless you.
Take care, mate.
See you, man. Okay, sweet. I'm asking him as well. He ain't answering. Well, yeah. Why would he answer you? You clearly hate him. I love when atheists are like, well, I asked God to reveal him to myself, and he didn't, therefore he doesn't exist. It's like, well, did you demand something from God and then expect him to answer your puny human essentially hateful, distrusting demand? Of course not. Why would he answer you, Charlie Kirk? But actually, this might be him answering you, because I'm about to give you an answer that obviously comes through me, through this priest, through another priest, from God, right? So if you're interested in the answer, you can listen. Otherwise, you can keep trolling, which is fun, or you can just watch and hang out. We appreciate having you here, Mr. Kirk. Mr. Kirk.
In your same way, can I join you? So, sure, absolutely. So they're walking along, and they decide they need to lodge somewhere for the night. So they find a home, and they knock on the door, and there's a family there, and they let them in. And it's this very kind man and his wife who are very generous but also very poor. The only thing they have of value is a beautiful silver tray. Everything else they have is very poor.
Peace, Baranoiche. Appreciate you. Love you. God bless you, my friend.
And so this man and his wife are preparing this meal for their travelers. And when they're in the kitchen, the mysterious traveler picks up the tray, opens the window, and throws it out the window, and it lands in a pond and sinks. Well, the man looks at him and says, how could you do something? This is insane. Why did you do that? We've got to get going. They're going to prosecute us or something. We got to go. So guys, let's go. So they get on the road, and this mysterious traveler won't say anything about it. The guy thinks, well, this is crazy. But they go a little further, and they find another house. In this house is a family of three, a man, his wife, and their son. Their son's 16, 17 years old. Well, while the man and the wife are preparing the meal once again, the mysterious traveler does something this time really insane. He takes the young man and he chokes him to death. And suddenly the traveler goes, what did you do? You just killed somebody. We've got to get going. He tells the mysterious traveler, let's go. Come on, we got to get out of here. We got to get out of here. And they get out of there. They come to a third house. And in this house is a man who is moderately wealthy and just an absolute jerk. He's just not a kind man. And his house is pretty nice, except for one wall that's kind of falling apart. And this mysterious traveler takes out some money and he hands it to the man. He goes, why don't you use this to repair this wall? I want you to repair this wall because the rest of your house is very nice, but repair it. Well, as the two travelers get on their way again, the man looks at him and he goes, I can't figure you out. I don't even know if I want to walk with you anymore. You seem insane. What is going on? And this mysterious traveler reveals himself to be an angel.
Interesting.
And the man is so confused. He looks and he goes, what is this about? He goes, well, what do you want to know? He said, well, okay, let's start with the first house. That couple was so kind to us. And their one thing that they had nice in their house, in all the world, you threw out the window and lost for them. Why would you do that? He said, I'll tell you why.
Right.
He said, you're right. That was a very virtuous couple. And they had one sin for which they had never repented. They stole a beautiful silver tray. And that tray had become their prized possession, and it became an idol unto them. And the only way that they were going to be released from this was if I got rid of it. So I threw it out the window, and I got rid of it. And now they're going to repent of the fact that they stole it in the first place, come to their senses, and go back to God. The guy goes, okay, well, I guess that makes sense. But the second one, that's not going to make any sense. You killed that young man. He goes, you're right, I did. He goes, why? He said, that was also a very virtuous couple, and frankly, their son was very virtuous, but he had fallen in with the wrong crowd. And they don't know it, but he had started to turn to a life of thievery, of jealousy, of bitterness, and he was about to make a horrific mistake and lose his soul for all eternity. And so God told me to take him before it was too late. I had to save him at the last moment, because if we would have left him for one more night, he would have lost his soul for eternity by making a horrific mistake. And the man looks and he goes, okay, that's hard for me to swallow, but I accept that's if this is for his eternal salvation, I get it. This is a way for them to be together for all eternity. So this suffering is going to lead towards, towards ultimately a good judgment. But the third one, that man was horrific towards us. He was a jerk. And you actually treated him kindly. And he goes, you're right, I did. Well, why? He said, well, in that man's village, he was the only man with money. And he used that money to oppress all his fellow villagers. But he only had so much money, and he could only oppress them so much. He doesn't know it, but the past generations of his family had hidden a large sum of money in that wall that was falling apart. By giving him a small amount, he was going to use it to repair that wall, and he would never find that money. Had he found that money, he would have pressed them much more and turned their lives into utter misery. So I was saving the villagers. And the man's looking at this angel, and he's just utterly astounded. And the angel just looks at him and says, God's ways are not our ways. Do you understand? God's ways are not our ways. So there's a famous story from Saint.
And that's what it is. God's ways are not our ways. It's not for us to know or to judge or to blame God for some horror that happens, some horror that we can't understand. What we do know about God is that he will take the most horrific evil and turn it into the greatest good. So the devil plans something, like for Charlie Kirk to be assassinated, and God is able to transmute this through his omnipotence into a movement that will change the hearts and minds of millions and bring our culture and our people back to Christ. That is the good that can come of this. God's ways are not our ways. Now, don't misunderstand me. I'm not saying God assassinated Charlie Kirk in order to do this. I'm saying the devil foments fear, violence, rage, and God laughs at the devil and turns fear and violence and rage into love, into connection, into return, into repentance. So that's the point of that. This is an interesting video in general, but I think we'll move on to something a little different. I mean, we are on the topic of abortion, so we could do another abortion veg. Let's see. Let's do that. We were looking at we could do a little Lila Rose action. Maybe it would be better to have a Charlie Kirk video about abortion. This channel is also really good, Abolitionist Rising. I'm not sure which direction we should go in right now. Let's watch this. This is interesting.
Yeah, come on in. What's your name?
My name's Clementine.
Nice to meet you.
I've actually seen your stuff online, and I'm a huge fan. I was on puberty blockers. I started when I was 12, and I was on testosterone from 14 to 17, and I got top surgery at 17. Totally messed my life up. So I just want to say you're doing a good thing.
Wow.
I can't believe people disagree with you on this. As a former child transitioner, I'm just appalled that people have anything to question you about. So I salute you.
I'm so sorry you had to go through all that. I'm glad you are through it now. Thank you so much for speaking up. That's extremely valuable because a lot of people are afraid to.
Yeah.
So, do you mind if we have a little conversation about it?
Of course, yeah.
Okay, come on in this way just a little bit.
Oh yeah, for sure. Hi.
So, your name again?
My name's Clementine.
Clementine. So Clementine went on puberty blockers at what age?
12.
And you detransitioned at?
I detransitioned earlier this year, actually, but I had been going off testosterone since about 17 because it gave me psychosis.
When did they put you on testosterone?
I was 13.
Wow. And when did you have a double mastectomy?
I had a double mastectomy at 14. I'm currently going through the process of getting...
Charlie Kirk, unironically, I hate street interview videos no matter if it's left or right wing because they all can just cut out if their opponent said something they don't like or makes them look bad. They can, but that doesn't change the arguments per se. Or at least in the case of this video, these two people agree. So this wouldn't really fall under that category. And you can also just see what gets cut out and what doesn't. But that's fair. I understand hating street interview videos. I think in general, they're not all great. Most of them can be very, I don't know, sensationalized or just kind of, like you said, they can cut around people to make their position more clear. But I'm going to guess that this one has no cuts.
Getting reconstructive surgery, and it was harder to get that approved. I actually wasn't able to get it approved by my insurance.
Right.
But it was much harder to get surgery for that than it was to actually get the original top surgery procedure.
For everyone watching this who says this isn't happening, well, it happened to Clementine. At 14, a double mastectomy, puberty blockers at 12, testosterone at 13. How old are you now?
I'm 20 now. I just turned 20.
Have you ever talked to anyone about suing?
I can't disclose
Okay.
what's going on, but yeah, it's...
Okay, because I'm
that's
here to help
definitely
you
something I'd
find
like
someone
to
if you
do.
need someone.
Yeah, I've spoken... Do you know Campbell Miller Payne?
I do.
I've talked to them a bunch.
Fantastic. So Campbell Miller Payne is a law firm for dads in Texas who all left their previous law firms and started a new one just to sue for kids and young people like Clementine who've been harmed by this madness. And these are great guys. They could have done anything to make a bunch of money, but they started a law firm. They left all their previous firms. They have 18 kids between them, and they're going to cause a lot of waves. I know some good lawsuits coming too, which we aren't allowed to announce yet.
Yeah, I really
but
hope so.
That's one of the way
I don't
out of this
know.
mess we've gotten into.
I don't know how a child could consent to the loss of their fertility.
What do you think about this, Charlie, in my chat? Do you agree with puberty blockers and transing kids, and do you think trans people are real and all that? Or where do you stand on that, if you're willing to have any real opinion? It looks like we finally got a real opinion out of you. Unironically, I hate street interviews, so that's good. Let me know if you're still here, where you stand on that whole topic, because I'd be interested.
Yeah.
Children can't conceptualize that, and I think people don't understand that.
So what got you into this in the first place?
I was sexually abused as a child, and that was totally ignored, but I started having a lot of negative feelings about my body around puberty, and I was egged on by some guidance counselors that I might be transgender, and I later decided that I was really a boy and my life would be so much easier because of all this abuse that I had experienced because of being a woman, and I totally just rejected womanhood because I thought that all that it meant for me was pain. Yeah, that's kind of how I got there, but
And what got
getting
you out?
out of it, getting out of it was a really difficult process for me, but mostly it was just getting the right therapy. I went to DBT therapy, and we never discussed my gender. We only discussed my sexual abuse, and after I dealt with that, I realized I didn't want to do this anymore, and the loss of my fertility and my body just started to really sink in, and I realized, like, oh my God, I've built this entire persona around misogyny.
Do you know for sure that you've lost your fertility?
I'm not 100% sure,
Okay.
but
you were on
I'm not the
testosterone
most
for
hopeful.
4
I never
years.
went through female puberty, so yeah.
Right. I'm so sorry, but thank you so much for speaking up.
Yeah,
It's
thank you
extremely
for
brave.
speaking to me.
It's extremely powerful. I'm so sorry what was done to you, but this is going to help other people not
I'm so glad
to
you're
fall
doing
down
what
this
you're
rabbit
doing.
hole.
Keep going.
One last question, and just come in a little bit.
Yeah, of course.
Before you started on the puberty blockers, you've just shared with me this sexual abuse that happened to you before you started on those.
Yeah.
Did anyone ask you about that?
No, not was that brought up once during the meeting. I was only asked, do I like hanging out with boys? Do I get fit in better with boys? What kind of things am I into? Just really surface level questions. And I was prescribed puberty blockers 30 minutes into my appointment after being out for 4 months.
Wow.
First appointment.
Yes.
Wow.
With
Dr.
30 minutes into an appointment. Yep, we're just gonna cancel your puberty. You're a boy now. Oh, do you like skateboarding? You're a boy. I mean, think about how sexist that is. That as a little 12-year-old, if you like skateboarding and wearing beanies and maybe you like baggy pants instead of dresses, oh, well, you must actually be a boy. You must be in the wrong body because that's stuff that only boys can do. Well, what about girl skateboarders? Shouldn't you be encouraging females to do what they want to do rather than say, oh, you like skateboarding? Then you should probably cancel your puberty, mutilate your genitals, and become a boy so that you can fit in. That's absolutely absurd. That's criminal. Heinous.
Joanna Olson Kennedy at Los Angeles Children's Hospital.
Johanna Olson Kennedy. I've talked a lot about her.
Joanna Olson Kennedy. Let's call her out. Let's get this face out of our culture. Not violently, of course. We have to defeat these people. It's a spiritual battle. It's a battle of debate. LA doctor Johanna Olson Kennedy, accused of pushing preteen into puberty blockers, mastectomy, sued for medical negligence. Yes, that's what we need to be doing. We need to be supporting these lawsuits against these demonic criminals. A prominent doctor and transgender rights activist is accused of coaxing a preteen girl to undergo a sex change in order to get her to consent to hormone therapy and falsely telling her parents she was suicidal. That's their move. They literally say to people that are inquiring about this, really to abused children that don't know what is going on with their bodies and with their minds, they tell the parents, would you rather have a living daughter or a dead son? Or vice versa, depending on what the sex of the child is. Clementine Breen, now 20, filed a medical negligence lawsuit against Dr. Joanna Olson Kennedy on Thursday, alleging that she was not given adequate psychological testing, mental health monitoring, or monitoring for side effects, and that she was not given proper psychological testing, yada, yada, yada. He claimed that he was forced to undergo irreversible treatment to prevent his death. Really, her death. She claimed that she was forced to undergo. According to a report in The Economist magazine, this treatment. Well, this is clearly not the most professional news site, probably written by ChatGPT, and also Clementine, Mr. I mean, they're actually, ironically, they're misgendering the person who detransitioned to what they actually are. Breen, who studies theater at UCLA, said she wants to file the lawsuit to bring awareness to the lack of gatekeeping for young people looking to transition. Absolutely. People just dismiss what happened to me as something that doesn't happen. I was never sure of my identity. But anyway, oh, you're not sure? Well, let's just castrate you anyway. Well, we'll just chemically castrate you regardless. That's wild. Okay.
And I'm going to put more about her underneath this video. She's running the busiest gender clinic in the country at Children's Hospital of Los Angeles. She received a grant from the NIH a few years ago for $5.7 million. And part of that grant application, she asked for approval to give opposite sex hormones to kids as young as 8 years old.
8?
Yeah,
she is one of the biggest, if not the biggest, gender ghoul in the United States of America. Did she talk to your parents?
She did, and she told them the same thing that she tells everybody, that I was deeply suicidal and that if they didn't let me transition, I would be at high risk for suicide. And I only attempted to kill myself after I transitioned.
So she convinced them that they had two options, a dead daughter or a live son?
Yes.
Did she even use those words?
She did use those exact words.
Wow. Give me a hug.
Thank you for talking to me.
Thank you for talking to me.
Have a great rest of your day.
All right.
God bless you.
I'll see you later.
God bless you indeed, Billboard Chris. This really is a great channel. He really does stand up for these horrors.
Jump in. Yeah.
Come on in.
Yeah.
Be right back. Just gotta go to the bathroom.
Appreciate it.
Thank you. That's running, right? Yeah.
Well, all I would say is I don't really know a lot about the subject that you're referring to, but it should be a concern for everybody because I understand there are 260,000 children in the country who are different to what is on their birth certificate. That's quite a large figure, isn't it? So you've got to take them into account whether you agree with it or whether you don't, or whether you agree with the propaganda which you're referring to. Blockers and all the puberty blockers and all that, I don't know whether they're actually in use any longer, are they?
So they banned them for new patients. Existing patients are still getting them. And the NHS still wants to start a clinical trial. And some friends of mine are looking to sue to get information on that because they won't release the information.
Don't you think it's an inevitable subject that will educate people into what is actually going on? You see, I'm a homosexual. For the first 30 years of my life, it was a crime, for goodness sake, the way I'm created. If there is a God, and I don't know whether there is or not, I'm an agnostic, was created by God this way.
How do you know that you're created by God to be homosexual? Like how? If you don't even know if there is a God or not, then certainly you have no idea about what that God created you for or how that created you. Also, if there is a God and it is the Christian God and Jesus Christ is his son and our Savior, then he actually explicitly did not create you to be homosexual. Then we explicitly live in a fallen world in which we have all sorts of predilections. He didn't create me to be a glutton, which I, Lord forgive me, am. Okay? So just because you do some action, have some predilection, does not mean you were created to be that.
And I say I don't know whether I believe it, because I'm an agnostic, I don't know. But I take it you're a God-fearing man. This is the sort of platform I would expect from a man who believes in God.
I don't really have a religion.
Oh, well, that's all right.
Yeah, people assume that all the time. I don't know why they assume that you have to have a religion to think that we shouldn't be maiming and sterilizing children.
Because it's fundamentally it's a moral position, and to have an objective morality, you do have to be connected to a religion, at least an objective realm of like duty, moral duties. So that's why people assume that. It's funny that the demons assume that you believe in God when he actually doesn't even believe in God or whatever. He doesn't have a religion. Because they're picking up that this is the proper moral take. And people that have the proper moral take usually believe in the proper God.
Not at all. I'm just thinking it's most likely, but you're saying I've got this wrong. So
Well, the people who've been leading this charge in the UK have been feminists who probably don't believe in God.
Well,
But, so you're a gay man. We can define what that means. It means same-sex attraction. Nobody can define what transgender even means. The whole thing is a lie. Nobody's transgender. They're all male or female. And if a boy is more effeminate, well, he's an effeminate boy. That's it. We shouldn't be teaching them that they're born in the wrong body and they need drugs, hormones, and surgeries to be their true
well,
selves.
I don't know. You don't have to take all that in. You can adjust accordingly. Parents can get involved as to what they think is best for their
But parents don't have the right to abuse their children. And this is child abuse.
What is child abuse?
Child transition. Blocking their puberty, giving them the cross-sex hormones.
Well, I don't think
child abuse.
I think that's a bit extreme of you.
Well, if you look at who these kids are, and you should probably read the Cass review from the NHS, it's a 388-page report that Dr. Hilary Cass wrote. 70% of these children have 5 or more coexisting mental health comorbidities. Not just 1 or 2, they've got 5 or more. They've frequently been sexually abused. They, majority of the time, are on the autism spectrum. Majority of the time, they have one parent who's not in the picture. So they're just struggling children. They're not transgender children. That doesn't exist. They're just struggling children who are now having their puberty blocked with a cancer drug that has never been approved for this purpose. It's approved for prostate cancer, endometriosis, uterine fibroids. It's used on sex offenders to this day to chemically castrate them, but it's used off-label because it happens to stop puberty in kids.
I thought there was a report on this which sort of terminated blocking puberty blockers, I thought, which is not... I don't think anybody would go along with that. I don't think I would go along with that, really.
There's never been any scientific justification for this. There was a very small study done in the Netherlands in the first decade of this century. The first girl to ever have this done to her was done in the Netherlands in the 90s. They then developed what's called the Dutch protocol, where they would block puberty in these children at 12. They would then give them the cross-sex hormones not until 16. But they, at least, in spite of the insanity of this, had some safeguards in place where they would screen for other mental health comorbidities. But when this was exported to the rest of the world, all the safeguards vanished to the point where kids are now getting puberty blockers on their first appointment.
I'm slightly off the subject, but in your position, do you think that gay sex between consenting adults is wrong?
What does that have to do with castrating children? I don't understand. Yeah, I know I'm slightly off the topic, but anyway, all those facts are a bit concerning, and I can't answer them because they're true. So anyway, what do you think about gay sex? What? You might as well bring that up in like an abortion argument or something. It makes no sense.
This is not my issue at all. If you want to be gay, go ahead and be gay. It's got nothing to do with this.
I haven't got a view on it. I don't believe it.
Well, who
It's
cares?
got
if he has
nothing
a
to do with
view on
this.
it?
If you're a gay
Of
man
course
and you
it's
want to
got-
go
it-
do something in a bedroom with a man, that's
it's
none of my
got a lot-
business.
It's got a lot to do with it.
Well, I'll tell you what it does have to
Whether
do with
I'm
this.
a top or a bottom in a homosexual relationship, that's got something to do with the what you're referring to.
No,
That's
it
like
does
if
not.
someone was like, that's like if someone was on the street like protesting against like say abortion or something, and then a guy came up to you and you presented all the facts, how like a fetus is a living human being and all the rest, and they deserve equal rights and human rights. And he's like, well, I actually suck dick. I actually suck penis. And you're like, okay, and what? What kind of argument is that?
Not have anything to do with this, but I will tell you that historically, when you look at kids with gender dysphoria, that according to all the academic studies before they started drugging these kids, a majority grew up to be gay. The biggest study that was ever done showed that 63.6% of the boys grew up to be gay. So this is actual conversion therapy.
Is this something wrong with being gay?
No, but there's something wrong with castrating a child when they would either be a gay man or not even a gay man, and they just have effeminate features and interests. There's something wrong with castrating them. Like, how are you not following? I get that this guy's like the soup mind boomer, but
What I'm telling you is this is conversion therapy of gay people. Instead of leaving them alone, they're being told that they're trans because you have these little effeminate boys, and they're sterilizing kids who would grow up to be gay. Do you think that's okay? Do you think they should be cutting off the body parts of kids who grow up to be gay? Do you think they should be giving the opposite sex hormones to kids who grow up to be gay?
You're getting into deep waters, and I'm not really.
It's a really simple question. Do you think we
Yeah.
should sterilize gay people?
yeah, it's pretty obvious.
That's what they're doing with this.
That's another issue. Of course I do. I believe
Then
that,
we're in agreement.
I believe that homosexuality is a natural phenomenon. Now, I don't suppose you would agree with that.
I'm not here to talk about gay sex.
Well, I'm asking you to break your tradition and speak to me of
We don't
this.
know why people are gay.
Yeah, what?
It's not genetic. We don't know why people are gay.
It's a natural phenomenon.
Source?
Okay.
Yeah, okay.
I'm not here to talk about every other issue under the sun. I'm talking about this one.
You're sidestepping something that you know you feel bad about.
I assure you I don't.
Do you realise that in London boroughs, according to the last census, like Islington and Camden, there's about 8 or 9% of the population are LGBTQA.
Oh, wow.
About 9%. And in places like Brighton, it's up to
Really?
about much the same.
What's
or
a Q
10%.
person?
Oh, wow. 90, what do you say? 9% of London, Camden, blah, 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 are actually LGBTQ. Oh, I guess I do support castrating children now. Oh, yeah, you really changed my mind. Very enlightening argument, sir. Well, did you know that 9% of people in Camden are gay? Oh, yeah, good. Oh, okay, yeah. Oh, now I get it. Now I see why we should be telling young children that they're born in the wrong body. And mutilating them. Now I get it.
Pardon?
You said there are people who are Q. What's a Q person?
Well, that's queer, I think.
Queer is a political ideology. Queer theory is a political
Queer-
ideology.
well-
But you guys lump all these letters together. You just included asexual people as well. Are they an oppressed class? People that just don't have a sex drive?
Well,
You lump all these letters together like it's a community. It's not. It's just a whole
we've
bunch
got,
of letters.
We've got a few letters to go on. If they want to add to them later, okay.
Do you think the P should be included with the
I think
LGBTQIA2S+?
you're rather prejudiced against homosexual people for a start.
Well, actually, I'm out here trying to protect people who would grow up to be gay, because these days they're all being told that they're trans. You have all these lesbians who are getting their breasts cut off and who are going on testosterone, which is causing lifelong irreversible harm. But you don't seem to really care about that. You just want to talk to me about tops and bottoms. I'd rather not. Hey, how's it going?
I just want to say, huge fan. Apologies for what happened to you with the ice cream the other day. That is really, really annoyed me. I've been following you for a while. I think you're great. Keep it up, and you're doing a great job. So thank you
sir.
so much. I'm gonna miss my train, but
Appreciate
I just want to I had to stop to say how grateful I am of what you do. Okay, so thank you so much. Okay, and the silent majority agree with you as
I
well.
know. Thank you very much. What's up, guys?
This
Wanna
guy
have a
just kind
conversation?
of hobbles off.
I agree with you.
Thank you.
I think you have a really strong opinion, and I think children in this age, they can decide for their future. They can decide what's happening with them in the future, what's going to be, their future standpoint in life, and what's going to happen. I think, this is a thing that children, if they're over 18, maybe they should be able to decide if they're over 18, if they're adults.
Excuse me, sir, I've just got a camera here. If you can step to the side,
But
that'd be great.
if they're really young, I mean, every children has this phase of feeling like they want to be like animals or something like this.
Yeah.
They all have this kind of phases and this time in their life where they try to discover everything. And if they let them take puberty blockers at this time, I think it's very crucial for their future. A lot of people in like my generation, like my age, have really bad mental health and everything, and I think it's a lot of because that's just not clear. It's just
There are
really.
more problems in the world than what you're going on about here. France currently is ungovernable.
That's
There's
true,
no
but-
government in France.
Well, good. Why don't you put a sign on and talk about France then? I mean, what? This guy can't even stay with it. That's hilarious.
It's
Thanks
grinding
for the-
to a halt.
thanks
That's
for
a
the
more important
insight.
issue than what you're rabbiting
Yeah,
on
but
about.
this-
Okay, well, I'm here
that-
talking about this, so if you don't want to talk about it, why don't
Yeah.
you just carry on? It was lovely speaking with you.
I'm not going to be pushed away by you.
Okay.
My first speaker,
I'll just ignore you. How about that?
Speaker's Corner was in 1968.
All right. Well, I can just turn around. It's fine.
Have a nice day.
Yeah,
Have
thanks,
a nice
buddy.
day.
Appreciate you.
Keep doing it.
You can keep showing yourself to be a jerk if you want. I've dealt with lots of people like you. Okay, so I just want to go over a couple things quick. You're very rude. Do you know that?
Yeah, what do you say about
I'm having
me?
a private conversation
I've had more
here.
than that thrown at me at Speaker's Corner. I've
Okay.
been called a paedophile at Speaker's Corner.
Do you think the P should be included in the TQ?
Pardon?
Do you think the P should be included with the TQ?
Your accent is very poor. Can you rephrase that?
Do you think the pedophile?
Your accent is very poor, he said. What the hell? What's up, you based? I'm on stream right now, just so you know.
Since when do you stream on Thursday?
I added Thursday as a day now. I don't know. Just decided to.
Interesting. What are you streaming about?
It's more Charlie Kirk stuff, sort of.
Jesus.
We're getting into the trans side of it now.
All right, I'll join for that.
All right. Sweet.
But who are you hosting with on Saturday?
It's gonna be me, Wallace, and SIE.
That's an awesome combo. I love it.
Yeah, I think it's.
wish I could be there.
You can't come on Saturday.
No, I'm working.
Ah, shit. All right. But yeah, it will be a fun one, and then we'll do it. We'll figure out the next time.
Oh, it's such a good combo.
Yeah, it's gonna be good. All right, sweet. Yeah, go ahead and join if you want. I'll be in the Discord. Sweet. All right, we might get some debate here then. I don't know.
Pedophilia should be included with the trans and queer theory cult.
Well, of course not. There's no consent with paedophiles.
Oh.
If this lady was a young
Good
10,
for you.
10-year-old, she can't consent to having sex with me because she's of age.
There's a gay man named James Cantor from Canada.
Did you know that-
sexologist,
that we've
and
had-
he says that not to include the P with the LGBTQ is to deny the principles that gave gay men their rights. What do you think
Well,
about that?
I don't want to comment on that, but
You don't wanna comment? Why not?
if you don't, well,
You were just-
I've asked
you were just
to
telling me
comment
that I
about-
can't-
I've
should be
asked you to
commenting on
comment
something.
about something, and you haven't refused. Did you know some of our prime ministers were homosexual?
Joker.
Dragon Joker.
What's your issue with trans people?
What's up, dog? Yeah, I don't have an issue with trans people. I don't. I think it's chemical castration and complete.
I remember at one point I remember I was like asking you specifically. I was like, by the way, you are part of the reason this happened. I was like, should I hang out with a trans girl? And you were like, yeah, do whatever makes you happy.
Yeah.
And I was like, so I did.
Oh, you went on a date with a trans girl?
I've done a lot more than go on a date with a trans girl.
No way. Are you serious? Why are you gay? Damn, dude. Tell me about that. That's wild.
I never did anal. That's too far for me.
Yeah,
But like
a little sucky suck,
yeah,
a little hand stuff.
Sorry.
That's funny. No, I mean, to be fair, my problem, even though I don't think it's helpful for really anybody to be trans, like I don't think you actually can be born in the wrong body. I don't think that actually makes sense as a concept. But specifically where I would stand up against it is with children. I think there's 0.00000 reason that you should ever put a child on puberty blockers, give a 17-year-old a double mastectomy, invert a 16-year-old's penis to make it into a vagina, that is irreversible, traumatic damage that you're doing to someone who never needs that operation. If they grow up and their brain is fully developed, they're 25 years old, and they still want to go into a clinic and say, listen, I'm a woman, I don't have really the right to stop them from that. I would advise them lovingly that probably won't solve your problems. But especially when parents are bringing their kids to a clinic, and when these evil doctors are actually performing these surgeries and prescribing puberty blockers and hormones to young children, that's a medical scandal on the level of abortion and other things. That's where I stand.
Depending on with your take on abortion, I wouldn't loop the two in, because you think abortion's murder. So this is very different.
No, it's different. Yeah.
And there's also consent, whether or not you believe that a child can consent,
Which, of course I don't.
No, also, I don't know anyone there are very, very few people that disagree with that point,
Well, that's what we're looking at now, yeah.
I would say it's an ultra-left position that you can start transitioning your children, It
is, but it happens in California. The biggest gender clinic that puts children on puberty blockers is UCLA Health. It's this doctor. We just looked her up. Johanna Olson Kennedy, I think her name is. And she has transitioned hundreds of children. Transitioned. I mean, it's insane. But this is California. This is where we live. This is 10 blocks from me.
There's definitely like a part of it where it's like you could always tell that someone wanted to be a girl, but also we're definitely over-transing kids.
For sure.
Like, especially with like girls being guys. It's like, oh, a girl's into sports, you're a fucking dude. It's like, no, let's calm down.
Yeah, that was my take on it before. It's completely sexist too, and it's homophobic.
I thoroughly agree.
Like
the idea that like, oh, I have these certain like ideas, so I'm a fucking boy now. Like, no. Why are we making it seem like that's ridiculous?
Yeah, we were just watching a video of this guy, Billboard Chris, and he's pretty good. And he was talking
I've thought about that for a while. It's like,
well,
if you want to get rid of the binary, you can't keep instituting that these certain things are part of it.
Exactly.
That they fall a certain place in the spectrum. Like, fuck you.
The biggest advocates against this, transgender ideology, especially with regards to children, are actually gay people and feminists. Because what happens in the vast majority of cases, when a young boy has very effeminate like interests and features and tastes, like they want to wear a dress and all that stuff, they would grow up to be a normal gay man. But instead, what people say is, oh, you want to wear a dress, or say you're a girl and, oh, you like skateboarding and baggy clothes and wearing Vans and like playing football or whatever. Well, you must be a boy. And it's like, so wait, on one hand, the gender binary doesn't exist, but on the other hand, it exists so forcefully that you actually have to perform surgery on them to make sure if you have masculine interests, you are a man. It's completely retarded. We have a guy that's cosplaying as Charlie Kirk in my chat, so he just posted, Trump is probably, there's a guy whose name, he's in my chat right now, his name is Charlie Kirk on YouTube. You can see it in the stream. And he's been like kind of trying to rage bait or whatever, but it's not really working that well. So he goes, Trump is probably trans, but he's forced to take an anti-trans position. Very sad. If you look at what he said before he went into politics, it's very clear he hated being a man. Fair enough.
Have you looked up on YouTube Trump baby girl, though? Because there are a lot of times where Trump was talking, and he just sounds like a gay man.
Well, yeah, I love Trump being gay is hilarious. Trump, a lot of beautiful boys here, some very beautiful men.
I love that man. I want to kiss him.
I would kiss him. I mean,
there's also like the ones where it's like, I never talked to him. I don't even know. It's like, he told me. He stole my plane.
Look at the size of that guy.
Black man.
Man.
He's a massive guy. This big, powerful guy. This guy he is a monster. A giant of a man.
One really large person.
I've seen a lot of people over the years. Big people. You know, I have a friend, big guy, one of the biggest in the world. This big...
I have a friend, big guy, one of the biggest in the world. Trump and Biden would be married by now if they weren't forced apart by politics. I think that's right. I think they actually did do a marriage ceremony on Epstein Island. I'm pretty sure I read that in the Wall Street Journal.
I think it was when Jimmy Carter died, and there was like that. It was like Obama and Trump sitting next to each other, and it just looked like they were gossiping the whole time. It was so cute. Like they looked like best friends. It was the cutest thing.
Wait, who is that?
It was Trump. Look up Trump, Obama, Jimmy Carter. They're sitting directly next to each other at his funeral, and they're like look like they're gossiping. It's the cutest
I
thing.
vaguely remember that. Trump, Obama, Jimmy Carter.
Look at them. The second video.
At former President Jimmy Carter's funeral, all eyes were on Presidents Barack Obama and Donald Trump's interaction. The two were seen chatting and at times laughing ahead of the state funeral.
They're gonna kiss, dude.
Despite having feuded politically over the years.
They're gonna kiss, bro.
Interactions. The two were seen chatting and at times laughing ahead of the state funeral at the
Pablo
National
was like
Cathedral.
behind
This
them as
threat
well,
to
like watching it
democracy,
happen.
and even
Oh,
called
look
him
how
a
cute they
fascist.
are.
Now, we
Melania's
don't know
like,
what
the
exactly
fuck?
they talked about, but Trump did speak on that front.
So sweet.
Oh, that's sweet. That's sweet. I want to watch this.
And I have to see people, and I know it's risky to do that, but you have to do what you have to do. You know, I'm the president. I can't sit in the basement and say, let's wait this thing out. I'm not going to do that. And now I'm immune, they tell me. I'm immune. I could come down and start kissing everybody. I'll kiss every guy, man and woman. Man and woman. Look at that guy, how handsome he is. Look at that guy. I'll kiss him. Not with a lot of enjoyment, but that's okay.
I'll kiss him.
Not with a lot of enjoyment, but that's
But
okay.
some enjoyment, for sure. He'll get some enjoyment.
Yeah, there will be a lot of enjoyment. There will be some enjoyment.
There won't be a lot of enjoyment. There will be some enjoyment. I'm only marginally They're calling me kinda gay.
Look, guys, I really want to kiss. Other guys, I don't want to kiss. So it's a middle ground. We'll fight.
They're calling me pretty gay. Let's see.
I don't know why I'm getting a lot of Nick Fuentes clips on my Instagram.
Yeah, they're pushing Nick really hard. I think it's a psyop. They're trying to replace.
But it's not even like him being anti-Semitic or political. It's just like the clips of him being like, just like mean to his chatters. It's like the chatters are like, "What's a book I can read?" It's like, "Fuck you! You think you're gonna get all the knowledge from one book? You fucking loser."
I mean, also asking Nick Fuentes for book recommendations is kind of a hilarious, like, way to educate yourself.
Recommendations or advice is a bad look.
Wait, I saw one that was kind of interesting.
Also, the one of him like watching Minions, and he's just like, "Bello."
Do those?
What?
Is that Kenzie?
Yeah, it's Kenzie. Kenzie's been posting Charlie Kirk stuff on Instagram. I'm like, fuck yeah, bro. Fight the good fight.
To actually go through the surgery and then
That's
might
like,
regret
all right,
it.
hold
Are
on,
those,
let me
are
see.
those the
Yeah.
autistic?
White guys posting Charlie Kirk stuff is the equivalent to white girls posting like Palestine Hamas things. You're not doing anything.
You know,
okay, you are only stoking the flames and making any sort of political discourse a little bit harder to have, and then whatever, like it's the same. Like the white girls we make fun of for just posting like the black squares. When you're posting Charlie Kirk's story, it's the same thing. It's just the different side of the political spectrum. It's not fighting the good fight.
No, I kind of get that. I do. It's just like on Instagram, especially in our comic sphere and stuff. The only things, like, most people just are silent on it, including myself. So I'm not putting myself in any category. But when you do see stuff, it's usually some stupid joke about it, or like not like I've not seen anyone I know personally like outright celebrating. But I've seen people say some kind of cold, harsh things. And Kenzie is the only person I've seen post any type of support for Charlie Kirk and express any sort of horror at his death, really.
Last night at the store, there were some really good Charlie Kirk jokes, surprisingly. Bink Cow said that he compared it to if Greta Thunberg was killed by Hamas.
Oh, that's interesting.
There was a black guy who said, like, yeah, he died like a real ass N-word. Like, he died talking that shit.
That's pretty funny.
His last words were gang violence. And he was just like, yeah, he died like a real ass black man. And it was just like, that was good as well.
That's so funny. Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying there aren't. I'm not saying it's not possible to have like good jokes about it or whatever.
No,
Most of them are bad. Most of them are just bad. But
did I tell you what my dad texted me? He texted me, I can introduce you to Luke Binkow. I have a connect. It was let me know if you want to meet Luke Binkow. I have a connect. And I called him and I'm like, who is Luke Binkow? And he's like, he works at the store, I think. And I'm like, yeah, I know who that is.
wait, who said he has a connect to Luke Binkow?
My dad.
What?
That's what I'm saying. I saw Luke last night.
That's so funny. That's so funny. I have a connect to Luke. Your dad matched with him on Grindr. Oh, I got too personal.
Ones. Would I be right to assume that many of those who get the fetish, who have the fetish for it, the transvestite stuff, probably wouldn't actually go through with the cutting?
So a lot of them don't know the difference. So they just know, oh, I like dressing up, maybe. And the autogynephiles who get turned on by the idea of having breasts and vagina, I mean, GP appointments are 6 minutes long, right? It's very hard to get out of that 6 minutes. Actually, I get turned on by them having a vagina. You just say, oh, I think I'll do a sex change. And the autogynephiles that I've seen went to their GP, said, oh, I think I should be a woman. And the GP said, oh, we can refer you to, say, Charing Cross or one of the gender clinics, but there is like a 2-year wait. And I think, oh, it was a 2-year wait. So they then, Googled what the treatment would be, sex change, and they got themselves on a plane, usually to Bangkok, and had a sex change. Problem is, all libidinal sexual drive, if you're a man, comes from your testosterone. It comes from your gonads. The first thing that goes with the sex change is you get castrated.
Oh.
So you wake up from the operation going, oh shit, I've got a vagina, I don't want it.
Oh my God, imagine that.
That's the universal response when an autogynephile has a sex change, they wake up, they have no sex drive, and that was the only reason they wanted a vagina. And now they're left with this redundant vagina they don't want.
Which isn't, it's not even a vagina, is it?
It's more like a hole, like an apple core, a hole, put between the base of your penis and your anus, which then you take the penis off, and the penile skin lines the hole.
I can't even watch this. I mean, I guess I knew that, but I mean, can you imagine? What the hell? I mean, what do you think, Henry? Do you think there's any situation in which a child should, or a teenager should, be justified in being prescribed both hormonal therapy and surgery?
I don't think so. But this might make me more gay, this take, but I think that trans women with a penis are more attractive than trans women that cut their dick off. Call me gay. I think that having a penis makes you more of a woman. I think you could be a woman with a penis. That's completely fine. The moment you cut your penis, I think you've gone too far.
That's crazy. What's up, Mighty Star? Welcome. Yeah, we kind of moved to a health class. I clicked on this, but now I don't even want to watch it. It's
a gray Lego frog.
Yeah, Mighty Star, never justified for a child. Completely agree. Gray Lego frog. Nice, dude. Nice. Yeah, we're kind of watching these debates are a little bit more interesting because that's what's important. I mean, it is important if you're flirting with or you agree with the idea that children should be transed, then you do have to know how actually horrific that is, how that turns out to be. But I think we all know how weird and strange that is, so the debates are a little bit more interesting.
All right. So tell me, why is it that you want to sterilize kids?
I'm sorry?
Why is it that you want to sterilize kids?
I don't agree with the premise of the question.
Well, that's what's happening.
I don't agree with the premise of the question.
Okay. Why do you want to block puberty in children?
It's not blocking puberty. It's changing children's, not their biological sex. It's changing their hormonal balance. And it's done, at least in Australia. I don't know where you're from. I think you should go back there.
Like a quick little racist.
I was going to say, that's not a liberal thing to say. I don't know if
I think
you're supposed to tell them to go back to their country.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that is the liberal thing to say when you have been convinced that the other side is like there are these evil Nazis or whatever, if you actually believe that, then you would want to kick them out of your country. But when the sign is as simple as children cannot consent to puberty blockers, I mean, so you're saying they can consent to puberty blockers? The double think is crazy. He goes, no, you're not changing their biological sex. You're just changing their hormonal balance. So you are changing their biological sex. I mean,
I think that's a dangerous aspect of American politics where people are like, oh, if you're liberal, and I don't understand liberals, they're just stupid, or like vice versa, Republicans.
Right.
I think understanding why someone would vote different than you or someone has different beliefs is really crucial.
Yeah.
And the idea that someone could just be like, oh yeah, I think half the country is dumb for voting differently than me. Like, no, you're the dumb one.
Yeah, I mean, I agree, but I think there's not much of a difference at the end of the day between the Republican and the Democratic parties. It's like a uniparty. I understand being outraged or not believing in leftist ideology and standing against that, obviously, but to put it all on the individuals that vote for these things ignores the fact that these people are tricked, Republicans and Democrats on both sides.
Absolutely.
It's done with the consent of mental health professionals, GPs. It's done with a lot of oversight. It's done with the backing of state and federal governments. It's fully legal.
Yeah, that's the problem. That it's legal, that it's backed by the government, that it's backed by the healthcare system. It's a medical scandal, literally.
What's the thing with Megan Fox? Like,
I think she might be a man. No, I don't know.
No, she's hot. That's not the problem. The thing is, like, she has like 3 children.
You think trans women with dicks are hot, so.
But the point I was getting at is apparently Megan Fox has like 3 kids and they're all trans girls.
Yeah.
Like,
and same with that other one, Charlize Theron. She adopted like 2 African children and they're both trans. Sure, that's possible. That's statistically likely. No, it's obviously the parents have pushed that onto their kids. It should be illegal, completely criminal, but like, what do you think that is? You think that they are so virtue signaling their woke ideology that like the ultimate virtue signal would be to have trans children, or like what would
I think part of it is like, imagine maybe you have one trans kid and it's like, or like you have one kid that seems like they might be trans, like the female aspects of earlier, and then let's say you have a younger kid, that's the older kid, you have a younger kid that's always looking up to their older sibling, they're always going to emulate that person. That doesn't make them the same because they like to play and do the same things as their older sibling. If anything, that kid's gonna grow up and be like, oh man, I just was fucking emulating my older sibling. I am not a fucking girl. Like,
yeah, no, totally.
Yeah, like to some degree.
Mm-hmm.
It's like you said, it's just like there's no shot. It's both. Like, that's nuts.
It's statistically completely impossible, especially if you have 3 and they're all trans. Like that, it makes no sense at all. Yeah, it's an illness.
I don't know what your gripe with is it.
Well, if the government says so, I guess we should sterilize kids. Hey, Lois?
Yeah, that sounds about right. If they're not blocking puberty, why are they called puberty blockers?
Fantastic question.
I wouldn't know. I'm not an expert. Neither are you two, I'm assuming, given that you're both out here spouting.
Pretty expert on it, actually.
Oh, really? Oh, what qualifications do you have?
Oh, I've read everything there is to read. I've been doing this 4.5 years.
So
I work with doctors and health professionals all across the world. I've read all the systematic reviews into the scientific literature. You probably don't even know they exist.
Said I read niggas to read because that's a gooning thing to say.
No, it's a total gooner move. He goes, "Oh, you read stuff, did you? So you're not an expert." It's like, well, what do you think experts do other than read?
I don't like somebody. No, but imagine being like, I've read, but I don't like both sides when they're like, I've read everything there is to read. Like, all right, calm down.
Yeah, I mean, fair, but if he's actually read, which I believe he has, the systematic reviews, that's all you really need to read. And the systematic reviews are damning, and they're suppressed. Like, we don't learn about them, but a bunch of European countries have made these things illegal already. That's why he has to go to Australia, England, America, Canada, because, like, in Sweden, they actually did the I guess they're called systematic reviews, but it's a scientific method where you collect all the people who have transitioned and you evaluate whether it's made them happier, whether it's made, like, whether they have reduced rates of depression, suicide, et cetera, and the statistics are overwhelming that it doesn't help anybody. Nobody is helped effectively by
But it's just
transitioning.
You know, it's not that inherently it doesn't help. It's just no difference whatsoever.
I don't think it is no difference. I think, well, we just listened to Clementine.
I don't think it's a worse difference. I think it's just the same. It's like the whole Ben Shapiro thing is like the transition, like the suicide rates for people post and pre-transition are like the same.
Well, they don't know what what the gender doctors, quote unquote, health professionals tell parents of kids that are, say, a boy, but they present a little bit more effeminately or vice versa. The doctors tell the parents, would you rather have a living son or a dead daughter? And
would you rather have a gay son or a thought daughter?
That's what they do, but with life and death, essentially. And so the parents go, well, of course I'd rather have my child be alive, even if he transitions to a girl. But this is a lie. So Clementine Breen just came on.
Why do they say that? Do they really say that?
Because they assume, well, part of me thinks the doctors know that they don't have a higher chance of suicide. Most of these kids won't kill themselves. They'll just become a gay man or a lesbian woman. But the doctors tell the parents this so that the parents feel like they have to go through with this, otherwise their child will die. When in the case of Clementine Breen, she only ever thought about committing suicide after she went through years of hormonal therapy and had her breast chopped off. And of course that, maybe that would actually make you somewhat depressed and suicidal to be pumped full of the wrong hormones your whole life and perform an irreversible surgery. I wonder if that would raise your chance of suicide. It seems like it would.
Cut my boobs off.
Cutting your boobs off. Yeah, so I think that's a total lie that the doctors tell to push their own ideology and honestly to make money off of doing the surgeries. So a sex transition is a lifelong medical procedure because what they do is they suppress it, especially in the case where they actually castrate you, they cut off your genitals. Then you don't produce testosterone for yourself anymore. So you have to take estrogen your whole life because you have to have one or the other, estrogen or testosterone. Otherwise, your bones will literally disintegrate. And if you decide to detransition, so in the case of Clementine Breen, and you want to go back on testosterone, then you have to permanently take testosterone because your body doesn't produce it anymore because you chopped off your gonads. So it's a lifelong, they lock you in. It's like when you subscribe to some, service and then you can't figure out how to cancel it. That's what it is.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
You want to watch the thing with Joe DeRosa at Skankfest?
Maybe, yeah. Yeah, in a sec.
Where
you should go read the cast review at the start.
Where they what? What do they do?
They have go in the back and get the translady hard.
Oh my god. No, I don't want to watch that. That's crazy. Born in a different body is like getting in your car and not being in your car.
You should read the things that you're recommending to me.
Well, hold on, because it's not. Because there are a lot of people that drive their car and it's not their car. If you I saw Rick Glassman driving a really nice Mercedes. Mm-hmm. That's not his car. His car is a fucking Kia Sorento.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah,
but he wasn't born in the car. I mean, the car is not a part of him or whatever, So it's not his car. It was never his car, right? It's actually, that's a good analogy for how you're never really a woman if you transition from being a man, because it's not your body. You're literally changing it into a different body. You're trying to, but of course it doesn't even really work. So I don't know.
8-page report done over 3.5 years, looking into all the scientific literature on this, and they found there's no evidence to support doing this, so they banned it.
I just say, I don't disagree with any of the scientific research that you're raising.
You don't even know about it.
Okay, well, that's why I'm not disagreeing with it. Mm-hmm. But I just say that being here and demonstrating in this way is quite hateful, and I don't think it advances any kind of genuine concern for children. I think it's just bigoted.
Do you think we should be able to have conversations about what seems to be a controversial topic on a university campus.
Absolutely, but this isn't
So
a
then
conversation.
that's all I'm here for, is to have conversations.
This is a demonstration. This is deliberately provocative.
So if I stood here without a sign, no one would know why I was here, right?
But I'm not saying you should stand out on the street. Maybe you should have.
So what's the best way to have? You educate me. What's the best way to have conversations
I'm not
about
here to
this?
educate you. I'm not an expert either. I think.
So how would you
medical
recommend I have
professionals-
conversations about this?
I wouldn't know where to begin.
Okay, well, I think my method works pretty well. I've been doing it a long time, and it's been spectacularly successful.
Where? What?
All over. Canada, U.S.
I don't think I'm going to
England,
convince you of anything.
Ireland,
You're not
Scotland,
going to convince me
Australia,
of anything.
Switzerland, Austria, Portugal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't have anything to say other than.
All right.
I think I.
Well, I appreciate you
disagree
talking.
with you, but I think the way in which you disagree publicly is pretty apparent.
What do you disagree with?
Yeah.
The manner in which, catchy headlines, children are born and never born in the wrong body.
Okay, so how is a child born in the wrong body?
Good
What
question.
does that mean?
Yeah, exactly. What does it mean? It means nothing. It's not real. What do you mean you're born in the wrong body? Like, you're born with a body. Your brain has XY or XX chromosomes. Like, there's no recorded case of a person being born and like everything in their body is XX or whatever chromosomes, and then but just their brain is XY, right? It actually makes no sense.
That Jesus Christ was like, he was born in. I'm not gonna go there.
No, you can. I mean, I'm happy to engage that, but of course, no. Yeah, Jesus Christ was born in the body He created, right? Like.
Yeah, so I'm not gonna do anything there.
Yeah. Fair enough. Fair enough. If you want to backtrack off that one.
So that's too far for me.
Well, actually, the funny thing about the trans movement is that they actually do try to trans people in history. So you can find like transgender health scholars and stuff say like, oh, the Buddha was actually trans because he had big tits or something like that, or like, oh, Jesus was actually trans because he said this about women, or and they have to do that because the line is that transgender people have always existed, when I don't think that's true at all. I think autogynephilic men have always existed. Yeah, Humian, welcome, brother. We had this crazy LARPer in our chat pretending to be Charlie Kirk and trying to rage bait, but of course he's in the wrong chat. That doesn't really work on us. So he ended up actually just like kind of getting along. He kind of actually started like saying his own opinions. But if you scroll back in the chat, you can see like he was really trying to do something here. The first text he sent was, how do you deal with the hole in your neck going septic, commenting from purgatory, which is just horrendous. But that's what these demons do. That's how they influence people, just foment rage and whatever. But
about this, I feel like the whole thing with demons is like a little bit ridiculous. I feel like people will use demons may or may not exist, but people use demons too often just as a crutch to explain why they did something shitty in their past. Like you can get why you can learn more about the world and learn what decisions are better to make, because that's how age works. You don't have to be like, oh, I was younger and I was doing all these drugs and alcohol because the demons got to me. It's like, no, you grew up.
Well, it's an interesting question because it depends on whether you believe in a spiritual dimension or not. So if you do believe in a spiritual dimension, then
I think it goes both ways. I think maybe demons possess people to do some really evil shit, but then normal people are like, oh yeah, the demons possessed me to cheat on my girlfriend. It's like,
right. No, I completely agree. I think, the question is whether it might be that the predilection or the desire to cheat on your girlfriend, its origin is in some kind of like succubus, like demonic influence or something like that. But then you certainly can't blame the demon for that, because you are the one that chose to do that. You are the one that chose to go along with that thought that you had, essentially, which is where it starts. And so the question is, do demons influence people? Yeah, I think so. Do angels influence people? Yeah, your guardian angel does as well. That's when you have that moment of conscience, like, oh, I should tell her, or I should come clean, or I should not do it, right? Something like that. But ultimately, the decision is all on you. The responsibility for your action is all on you. So I don't think it's ever a valid excuse to say the devil made me do it. No, the devil maybe told you about it, put the thought in your head, did this and that, influenced you in some way. But he did not make you do anything. We actually have free will, and that actually gives you responsibility for your actions. So that's a good point. I think people do over attribute their actions to demons. But we shouldn't also deny that demons are real and that they do have influence on us. They have influence on me, you know. But
You're being influenced by demons? Because I don't think I am that often. I think I'm being influenced.
That's part of that's like a cheesy line, but the devil's greatest trick was convincing us he doesn't exist, right?
Yeah, it is a cheesy line. But my thing is like, I know Jesus loves me so much, and I know he likes me a lot. I know he fucks with me, and I know he's with me. So it's like, when I know I have that, it's like the devil can try. Like the devil can be like there's times when the devil, I'll be hanging out after work, the devil will be like, here, try some cocaine.
Yeah, right.
And I'll be, I'm scared. Okay,
Yep.
devil, I'm scared. I don't want to do that, so I don't do it. Because you know why? I'm smarter than the devil sometimes, not all the time. Sometimes.
Well, that's fair. I mean, I'm glad you have that. I think when you say no, that would be the angelic influence, right? That would be the other side of it, the duality that exists in all of us.
I was being a little bit jokey there, but like there is an aspect where it's like I feel like I make somewhat better. And it's gonna sound maybe douchey or ridiculous coming from me of all people, but like I really do think I have my head screwed on quite well, and like I have solid priorities. I know what I like and what I don't. I know I don't like partying and shit like that, and like living that young person lifestyle. I'm gonna work hard trying to achieve my goals. You know. Like I feel like that's somewhat like rare.
No, totally. That's great. Yeah, that's totally great. I agree. I think you do have your head screwed on right. I think, but it can always be better. I mean, so even the Saints.
Absolutely. Also, I feel like I don't know. It's like compared to the people I see, I guess, like the people I work with, and I'm like, wow, these people are the same age as me, and they're dumbasses, and they're no goals, and like I don't know. Having goals is a big thing for me, I guess.
Yeah, having goals is a good thing. I mean, that's a positive influence by, I would say, the angelic side of the spiritual realm, to have goals and to want to work hard and to pursue things and achieve them and stuff like that, that you have to align yourself with, and which you do choose to align yourself with. And it's maybe some of these friends that you're working with or seeing that like are partying all the time and taking coke and all this stuff are choosing to align more so with the demonic side of their realm. But I'll just point out something, and this is not me judging you, but even judgment of them is a demonic influence. So if you're sitting there at your job and you're going, that guy is such a dumbass, he's nothing like me who is so great, those are two sins. That's the sin of judgment and pride. So it's not like you're perfect. And I'm not saying shame on you, Henry. I have no place to say that, because then that would be me judging you and saying I have, because I do the same thing you do. Look at that guy. Look how dumb he is. How much greater would he be if he were like me, who knows Christ and stuff like that. We can't do that. But I'm just saying, it's not like you're immune from demonic influence, like I'm not. You know what I'm saying?
Want to switch gears and talk about Jimmy Kimmel briefly?
Sure. Yeah. What's up with Jimmy Kimmel?
What's your take?
I think Jimmy Kimmel is funnier than people probably give him credit for. In general, I think he's pretty funny. I agree. I don't watch late night television really at all. Sorry.
Did you not hear what happened? Why are you just starting it like that?
Wait, what happened? I don't know.
He got his show yanked off the air because of comments he made about Charlie Kirk.
Oh, he did? Oh, I did not know that. Oh, I really didn't know that.
Because of a pretty lighthearted thing he said about Charlie Kirk. It wasn't bad. It wasn't enough where it's like, yeah, that makes sense. It was like, oh, there is a system in place that doesn't like that he is saying something contrary to public opinion or whatever it is. Here, I don't know if you can pull up the clip of what he said.
Yeah, I'll try for sure. I did not see that. I didn't know that. This is something that I'll criticize the right for right now, and a lot of voices are out there saying we should do this, we should do this. What the demons want, and I just use that casually. I don't know who the demons are. What they want is for more rage, more violence, more outrage, because that's what they feed on. And so what the right is calling for right now is to cancel the leftists that are celebrating Charlie Kirk's death and joking about him and stuff like that. But if you do that, you become the thing that Charlie Kirk himself stood against. Cancel culture,
Yes.
freedom of speech. So I think we should be really, really careful not to become the enemy that we're trying to defeat. And because that's what they would love. Let's see.
Yeah, they indefinitely bought the show.
Here, I think this.
We hit some new lows over the weekend with the MAGA gang desperately trying to characterize this kid who murdered Charlie Kirk as anything other than one of them and doing everything they can.
I mean, what? The guy was like a transgender leftist activist. He wasn't transgender, but he was a transgender activist. The reason in the text messages, if those are even real, you know, this could be a whole deep state, patsy, like whatever.
Did it? I don't think he did it.
Oh, we got a Michael Mahoney in the chat. Abortion is not wrong, all caps. Would you like to have an in-person discussion, Michael Mahoney? Because I'd be very happy to. Or we can litigate this in the chat. You just let me know what you like to do. I will post the Discord link right now so you can join if you're willing. Or we can do this. I mean, I'd obviously prefer to talk to you in person. That's how discussions work a lot better, a lot more fluidly. But yeah, let's get you on, Michael, and be happy to hear your position about why abortion is not wrong. In the meantime, we'll watch the Jimmy Kimmel thing until we get an answer about that. But welcome, brother. Welcome. Happy to have you here. Okay.
To score political points from it. In between the finger pointing, there was grieving. On Friday, the White House flew the flags at half-staff, which got some criticism. But on a human level, you can see how hard the president is taking this.
My condolences on the loss of your friend Charlie Kirk. May I ask, sir, personally, how are you holding up over the last day and a half, sir?
I think very good. And by the way, right there, you see all the trucks? They've just started construction of the new ballroom for the White House, which is something they've been trying to get, as you know, for about 150 years. And it's going to be a beauty.
Yes.
It's a nuts thing.
He's at the fourth stage of grief, construction.
That's pretty, that's a pretty funny joke. The fourth stage of grief.
I didn't hear that joke. That's actually good. I didn't hear that. That's good.
I think the first comment he made was retarded, that the shooter is MAGA or something. That actually makes no sense.
I love that, but also that joke was solid. And
that
I will
joke is
say,
solid. Construction, yeah, I like that.
I saw that clip and I thought it was hysterical. I didn't see it from Jimmy Kimmel, but I remember seeing that clip. A reporter like really earnestly asking, like, "How are you holding up?"
Yeah, exactly.
And he's like, "Yeah, the tracks are building
Holding up very well, actually.
150 years we wanted the ballroom."
Crazy. I mean, yeah, let's not pretend that Trump is some angel or whatever. You know? Like, he's obviously problematic. I think he's deep state. I think he's the Epstein, his inability or lack of will to actually release the Epstein files and intentionally obfuscate the issue, call it a Democrat hoax, is making it pretty abundantly clear who his backers are, which I think are the same as Epstein, Clinton, all the rest. But Michael Mahoney says, how about the killing of Palestinian children? Wrong? Yeah, I'm going to say killing any children are bad. So are you saying that, killing children is wrong, therefore abortion is right? Because that doesn't make any sense, Michael Mahoney. And I condemn the killing of any children, obviously. So I don't know what your point is. Also, that's a very classic, even though we didn't even get into the debate, it's the most classic move to just shift it to some completely other political topic that you assume you know my position on, which you obviously don't. So if you want to debate abortion, brother, give us an argument. You can start anywhere you'd like. My argument is that a human life is a human life from the moment of conception. Therefore, it has the right to life, which is the most fundamental right. Therefore, we cannot kill fetuses in the womb. It's a civil rights issue. They do not have the ability to speak or defend themselves. So we need others, i.e., abortion is wrong. Yeah, and I know the chat's a little bit behind. So that's why abortion is wrong. Fetuses are human lives. All humans are created in the image of God and bear an inherent dignity. And so just like it's wrong for you to kill a grown person, it's wrong for you to kill a developing person. So that's why it's wrong. Michael Mahoney. And again, this would be a lot easier if you were willing to talk in person, and you could join that Discord but we can do it this way as well. Let's see what else, Jimmy.
Cake thing, the cake one. Sure.
The what?
The Bill Burr thing about cake with abortion.
I don't think I've seen that. We can look that up for sure.
Yeah,
Michael
we'll look up.
Mahone says, mistake, there is no God. God does not exist. Okay, I understand. Obviously, you don't believe in God because you do believe in abortion. But my argument is not based fundamentally on that, although, of course, there is a God, and we could argue about that. But how do you respond to the fact that a human life, biologically, a human life starts at conception? Answer that, Michael Mahone, please. And you don't have to bring God into it or anything.
You can believe God and abortion. Those two things I don't think are mutually exclusive. Why do you think they are?
You can, especially if you believe in some kind of like Buddhist thing or
I
like
feel like
reincarnation or whatever.
like if we judge a human life's end by death, then we would judge its start by the moment it becomes autonomous, so 22 to 28 weeks.
What about non-autonomous human beings like paraplegics and people in comas?
Well, they would still die when they stop breathing, and they would still their life would still begin when they would be able to start breathing on their own.
That seems very arbitrary, but
it's not arbitrary at all.
So it's hard for me to argue with both Michael and you. So let me respond to Michael, and then let's go back to your point real quick. So human life has little or no value to Americans of whatever age. So yeah, that's your argument, that human life doesn't have value, therefore abortion is good. Fair enough. That makes sense. I just disagree with you that human life doesn't have value. So to Henry, so you're saying because when a human dies, they lose their autonomy, that a human life...
That's the end of their life. We agree when a human dies, it's the end of their life.
Yes, yeah.
And they stop breathing when they lose their life. So the start of their life would be when they start breathing and are able to conduct themselves.
Okay, so should you be able to abort a child that is like 9 months developed in the womb? Because they haven't started breathing yet.
No, because they're able to breathe on their own. That's what I'm saying.
I don't
like
think
22 to 28.
Not without the umbilical cord.
No, but that would be the cutoff point because you could bear that child and it would be able to breathe and live on its own. It would be born alive. Whereas you could not bear a child after 18 weeks. That's what I'm saying.
So then by that logic, shouldn't you try to give birth to every child, no matter how early it is, rather than just abort it?
What?
So, how does that play into the abortion argument? Because you're saying, oh, well, the life...
I'm saying that if you do a first trimester abortion, that's vastly different than aborting a child after it's been in your belly for 22 to 28 weeks, when it's noted that they could probably be born and live on their own after birth.
Okay, so it's basically viability is what you're talking about?
Yes, the same way that viability.
So what happens if you leave the first trimester fetus alone and don't abort it?
It'll grow. What's your point?
It'll become viable, right?
Yeah, but it wasn't at that point because it wasn't breathing. It wasn't. I wouldn't say it was alive.
So
I think there's a point where it becomes alive between those 22 and 28 weeks.
So do you think that the fetus in like the first 6 weeks or something is not alive?
I wouldn't say so. No, I wouldn't say it's. I mean, alive is like a really weird word for, not weird word for that, but like it's tough to use. I would say it's not living.
Okay, so it's dead.
No, I wouldn't say it's dead because
isn't that a true dichotomy?
That implies that it was once live.
So there's a third. So what is this third option between life and death? I thought that was a true dichotomy. Like you're either alive or you're not alive, right?
Yeah, they're not alive, but it doesn't mean they were born.
No, I agree. They're not born. Yeah.
You can be not alive while also not having been dead. Because you would never.
Not alive while having not been dead.
Because if you could not exist while having never died, you're not alive.
Mm-hmm. But it seems clear to me that a fetus, like from the moment of conception, is alive, given the fact that it grows, it takes in nutrients to, support its life, and it's not that it necessarily has like consciousness or autonomy or something, but it does seem like a fetus is living by the biological definition. Like It excretes waste. It takes in nutrients. It moves. It has all the markers of life. What part of it is not alive?
I don't know. I would say it's living as an extension of the mother, whereas after 22 and 28 weeks, where it can exist on its own if it has to be born or whatever the fuck, if it needs to be cut out of the mother, it'll be a preemie, but it'll be able to live. Like,
so first of all, the earliest birth that can happen, I think we can look this up, but is at 16 weeks. So would you then, if that were true, would you then shift your position to say 16 weeks is more like when it should happen?
Yeah, 4 months, that's fine.
Okay, and what about when it has a heartbeat? Because that happens at 6 weeks. So a heartbeat doesn't indicate life.
I wouldn't say so, no. I feel like it's breathing.
Well, it has to breathe the whole time. I mean, it's getting oxygen the whole time, whether it's through the umbilical cord, which it is, or...
It was able to cut the umbilical cord and breathe.
So basically, if it's not physically attached to the mother, then it's... Or if it's able to be physically...
If it's able to not be physically attached to the mother and live, I would say yes, that it's alive.
If it's able to be... Yeah, so then I'm just curious what it is if not alive before that time, when it can be detached from the mother.
I mean, I wouldn't say it's whether alive nor dead. I wouldn't say it's non-existent, rather, but I would say if... I don't think it becomes a human until it can fully breathe, until it becomes
so like what is
able to. If we count death as the end, then this is when we would theoretically possibly count life. I don't know.
Yeah,
what's Michael saying?
Michael is being crazy. He's saying, okay, human life has little or no value of whatever age. If a fetus is eliminated, keep in mind this is in all caps, by the way, in case you need any sort of indication of who this guy is. If a fetus is eliminated, then what harm has occurred to you? Well, that's not the point. Do you think if there's no harm that occurs to me personally, then it should be allowed, i.e. I should be allowed to murder Henry or murder anybody else? Like, no, of course not. The harm is being done to the human being who has human rights, in my view. Excuse me.
You don't agree with human rights or whatever.
Yeah, well, Michael doesn't even believe in human rights, which makes sense based on his arguments.
Your whole thing is that you don't.
No, I believe in them. I think that they only have a reference to an objective standard of morality, which would be God. So human rights only exist if we are made in the image of God and bear inherent dignity.
Michael actually did just say something that's semi-interesting. He said alive in a cellular sense, which I think is kind of the premise of what I am arguing. In a way, is like when it's a conception, it's alive in a cellular sense. And this goes back to like what I was arguing, I think last Friday when I was working and I was talking about like, the petri dish.
Yeah.
Like it's alive in a cellular sense, but it's hard to be like, that's a human. And that's kind of what I'm getting at.
But
with
what
like,
is it other than a human? Like it has human DNA.
It becomes a human rather than it's always been a human and it's alive. So that's my alive in a cellular sense.
I understand, but what are those, like, because I'm only alive in a cellular sense as well. Like, you're only alive in a cellular sense. Like, you are just a bunch of cells, especially according to the atheistic paradigm. Like, when people go like, oh, it's just a clump of cells, it's like, okay, well, so are you. So what's the difference?
I guess the fact that we're a fully autonomous clump of cells that can walk around and live our lives and breathe.
So it has to do with autonomy.
Somewhat, yeah.
Okay, so again, I'll pose to you like coma patients and non-autonomous human beings who can't breathe without a ventilator.
If we were to cut our cells open and bleed, those cells would be alive as well. But we wouldn't say they're a human,
No, yeah, you wouldn't. I'm not sure exactly what relevance that has.
Meaning those are definitely human cells that are alive. They came from me and they are alive.
Mm-hmm.
But I wouldn't say that's a human. That's just my blood.
Yeah.
Even if we can look at the microscope and see it moving and it's alive and all that bullshit.
But it comes from a human. It comes from a human. I mean, it is you.
That doesn't make it human.
No, I agree. I'm saying that a fetus is a little bit different than if you cut open your stomach and your intestines fall out or something like that. The intestines have no potential of being a like living, breathing, conscious human being. Whereas a fetus 100% does have that potential. Actually, if left alone, it 100% will become, or at least 95%.
About the potential of your cum.
Well, we did talk about this.
Coming?
No, we did talk about this. I'm personally, I'm against on a personal level, like masturbation and porn and all that stuff in general. Yeah. Like I see FASA Productions. But not because of the abortion argument. A sperm cell is not a unique human life, if it's even alive, which is debatable, because it doesn't grow, it doesn't have nutrients, doesn't have waste. It's sort of like anyway, maybe they're alive, maybe they're not, but they're certainly not a human being because they only have 1/2 of the DNA that you would need to be a human being. They have my DNA explicitly only. They don't have 2 chromosomes that come together, right? There's no conception for sperm cells. Okay, so let's go to Michael real quick. Again, how would you be harmed by a woman who had an abortion? I wouldn't. The woman would be harmed and the baby would be harmed. So I'm standing up for the baby's rights. And also, I think it's bad for women to normalize murder. And many women feel very regretful of the abortions they've had. I've talked to a few of them. They literally regret it. So what are they regretting if it's just a clump of cells? So if you destroy the cell, this constitutes a murder. Again, never said that. I said if you destroy a fetus, it constitutes a murder.
Check out what I texted you. You'll like it. But
when it reveals a continuity of consistent brain activity. Okay, so your standard for life is when somebody has a continuity of consistent brain activity. What about coma patients? It is the point to me. Your view is an error. God is not morality. There is no God. I mean, that's just an assertion by you, so you'd have to support that. Can you actually, real quick, Michael, can you prove to me that there is no God? Because that should be easy given your view. How do you prove that there is no God? And you can go ahead. Sorry, Henry, what were you saying?
Coma patients have brain activity. They just can't breathe on their own.
Sure. I mean, maybe it depends. They have very limited brain activity, but they have no conscious experience, right? They have no sentient experience.
I'm fairly sure, yeah.
Like they do have a conscious experience?
I don't know. I've never been in a coma.
I don't really know either. But the point being, like, okay, if you... Well, also the other thing is we don't even know that babies have a conscious or sentient experience. So should you be able to kill a 1-month-old baby that really has no consciousness like ours?
I mean, if you want to, yeah, but like if you don't want to,
that's essentially what the abortion argument comes down to.
Anthony. Check out the thing I sent you. You will like it. But,
okay, I will for sure. Michael says a cellular system in symbiosis. What does that mean? That's how you disprove God, or what is that even? Because if you're saying a cellular system in symbiosis is life, then you really shouldn't be killing fetuses, because those are certainly cellular systems that have a homeostasis and a symbiosis with the mother. So I don't... But at least he stopped typing in all caps. Maybe he realized how crazy he was coming off.
Yeah, that's good.
Again, feel free to join this actual Discord, Michael, and you can make these points a little more cogently and respond more directly. For sure. Yeah. Okay, let me see if I can pull up the Bill Burr. I can just look it up. Not necessarily. I don't know what that's in reference to. Bill Burr.
From his Red Rocks.
Right. I think I just watched this special, so I must have seen this bit.
Pro-choice always made sense to me because I don't like people telling me what to do. And I was just like, it's your body. Who the fuck am I to tell you what to do with your body? So that always made sense.
Except it doesn't make sense at all because we tell people what to do all the time. That's what laws are.
Dickwad.
What's that?
You'll like it. Stop pausing it so he can get his joke out.
Well, I know, but I'll listen to the joke. I'm just saying the premise on a literal level is flawed. But this is the premise that people use. This is what people actually use.
Like it if you watch it because you don't know how it fucking ends.
All right.
However,
with you.
Yeah.
I still think you're killing a baby.
However.
See? That's where it gets weird. It's not a baby yet. That's what they say, which may or may not be true. I don't know. I'm not a doctor, but I'll tell you, my gut tells me that doesn't make sense. It's not a baby yet. That would be like if I was making a cake and I poured some batter in a pan and I put it in the oven, and then 5 minutes later you came by and you grabbed the pan, you threw it across the floor, and I went, what the fuck? You just ruined my birthday cake. And then then you were like, well, that wasn't a cake yet.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like, well, it would have been. If you didn't do what you just did, there would have been a cake in 50 minutes.
Yep.
Something happened to that cake, you cake murdering son of a bitch.
Yep, exactly.
Right? Pro-choice always made.
Exactly.
That's kind of my take, honestly. Like, I feel like you'd be able to do it, but like you'd murder a cake.
Yep. Well, and then if that is your I mean, that's a hilarious joke, by the way. Great joke. Perfect. Well, let me get to Michael Mahoney. Do you think there's more to being a human than biological existence? Of course. Yeah, absolutely. There's more to it than that. I think you believe that as well. Because I would just ask you, where do you find love in your biology? And yet I'm sure you experience love as a human being. So where under the microscope is love? Then you ask me, can you prove to me there is one? So you're dodging the question. Can you not answer the question that I asked you? How do you prove there is no God? And if your stance is predicated on the fact, in your view, the assertion that there is no God, then you have to show that there is no God. But you're the one that made the positive claim. I made no positive claim about that. If you want to come into the Discord, we can talk about all the evidences and the philosophical proofs for the existence of God, but that's going to be hard to do over this chat. So answer my question first, and then I'd be very happy to answer your question. How do you prove that there is not one? And if you're just going to dodge and ask me another question, then that shows the weakness of your position and the fact that you just have an assertion not backed by evidence. So there you go.
When did he start talking about God? I feel like you brought up God.
No, he did. Well, he asked me why I believe abortion is wrong, and I gave a bunch of reasons, one of them being that humans are made in the image of God.
I thought we talked about this on Friday. You should be able to defend your abortion from a non-godly standpoint. Come on.
I don't think you have to. I don't think you should necessarily be able to, but I can. One of those secular arguments is, I don't know when life starts. You don't know when life starts. Therefore, err on the side of caution. Because if you're possibly...
Or logical, my point is being like, you should be able to explain it in a non-godly perspective. Because if you're going to try and convince people of two things at once, that's so much harder. Don't do that. It's going to make it so much harder for you.
No,
one's going to believe.
That's a good point. Well, that's why I do have a secular argument against abortion. And I can bring the God one in, which I think is even stronger. But you're right. Then you have to convince someone of another claim. Yeah, you're right. I mean, I can make the secular argument. If you don't know when life starts and I don't know when life starts, then we should err on the side of caution. As in, if it possibly starts at conception, which I think there's a lot of good arguments for biologically, then, like, for instance, that it appears, and might be where the disagreement is, that it's a living being that has unique human DNA that will grow, like Bill Burr said, into a cake. I think those are good reasons biologically to think that life actually starts at the moment of conception. That has nothing to do with God, so you don't have to prove God. Okay, can you prove to me there is one? Cell division, not a living, complete DNA result or outcome. What are you talking about? The zygote has its unique DNA from the moment of its conception, so... Not sure how that's relevant. Also, so you can't answer the question, Michael. But in the end, what difference does it make what I think? Well, it does make a difference what you think. You're part of this society. You make up a member, a voice in this culture. So maybe you have good arguments. You haven't presented any of them. But if you do have good arguments or a logical mind, then you might be able to persuade somebody to actually commit a murder if you're wrong. That's what's at stake. So what you think actually does matter, even if you don't think it does. And then you asked, who does the cake belong to? Oh, so is your argument that if the cake belongs to the woman, as in is giving birth to it, that she should be able to kill it? Do you think Casey Anthony should not go to prison?
That's an extrapolation. I think his point is like, if you're making a cake and you decide, fuck, this is too much. I don't want red velvet. You can stop.
Yeah, that you can stop, but that doesn't mean you haven't canceled the cake, destroyed the cake.
Yeah, that's fair.
So Steven Crowder cooked in tonight's Piers Morgan. I'll check that out. Watch the starting Steven debate of the show.
No, Steven Crowder does not still exist. No.
Wait, Michael Mahoney says, in the brain, because I've never seen it. So you think God doesn't exist because you've never seen it? Do you think Venus exists? What about the Big Bang? Do you think that exists? What about your own DNA? Do you think that exists? What about the love you have for your mother or your wife? Do you think that exists? You haven't seen any of those things. If you only believe in things that you've seen, you don't even believe that Vietnam exists unless you've been there. So that is the worst reason not to believe in God. Now you're asking for my evidence, and I'm happy to get into that, but you still haven't given any real reason. You just say, if your reason is actually because I have never seen it, then do 50 million ants not exist? I mean, what? I don't understand that. Rational logic, Steven Crowder said the exact same thing I just said. Well, now I'm interested. Okay, well, we'll check it out. Piers Morgan.
Who the fuck talks about Steven Crowder after the video came out of him yelling at his pregnant wife?
I saw that. Yeah, that's why I stopped really.
Yeah, what the fuck? Don't ever mention that name. Stop listening to that man.
We're gonna watch it. We're gonna watch it. Is it? Yeah, it must be this one.
Piers, I think that's completely disingenuous.
So this is just him discussing. It looks like there's a debate portion. So.
Heard a very impassioned statement.
You need to understand that some things have no beginning. Oh, I understand that perfectly. God has no beginning. He's uncreated, existing eternally. So I think you're the one that actually needs to understand that there is something that has no beginning. Who does the child belong to? It belongs to the mother, the father, if belong is even the right word. Now the question is, do you have the right to kill a child that belongs to you? That's the question, Michael, for you. I agree with you that it in some way belongs to the parents. So do they get to kill it? I have 2 cats that belong to me. Do I get to kill them? Do I get to throw them off my balcony because they're annoying me? Or because I feel like I can't take care of them or something?
You do decide when they get to die, when they're like limping around and you're like, all right, there's no quality of life here. And then you euthanize the cats.
Yeah, I think that's true. I mean, obviously a pet is slightly different than a human in that regard, but
you don't think a child is kind of like a pet?
No, not really. No, a child is a human being.
But it's also like a pet. You have to take care of it and feed it and let it take it to the bathroom.
Michael, rational logic is doing a Calvinist thing. No, it does not. That is untrue. You're false in your statements. I would have no desire to do so, but you do desire to kill unborn fetuses. So, what? I don't understand your logic here, Michael. You said, who does the child belong to? I said, the mother and the father. Then I asked you a question. Do they, just because it belongs to them, have the right to kill it? And you're saying, no, they don't. So where does their right to kill the child come from? And why did you even ask who the child belongs to if that's completely irrelevant to your point? Interesting.
There, from Steven Crowder, what's your response?
Oh, I get it, and I feel it, and I appreciate Steven Crowder expressing how he feels. I really do, and I don't know what my fight is. I don't have a fight with Steven Crowder. Steven, good to see you. There was a lot you said about me there in the intro. I don't remember because I'm getting older. I wish I'd written down some of it. I did my best for the past week because I knew Charlie as well, not to say that this guy was a right wing. He came from a God-fearing gun Utah family. He was definitely right, like some on the left did. I didn't know who he was until we had the facts and the evidence. And it's clear, Pierce and Stephen, that this was a
I had the facts and the evidence. And I told you he was on the left from the bullet engravings that we received from a leak. And you said we were wrong. And people on the left said we were wrong. And that matters because the shooter was still out there and so was the Kirk family. I'm trying to save lives.
Stephen,
I'm trying to save lives, Joe.
Maybe some people
trying to
did.
save
I don't know
lives.
when I
It's a little holier than that, Steven Crowder.
ever said you were wrong anywhere. When
You
this
said
first
we don't
time I've
know.
talked to you, or even
We don't know. We know he's from a white family in Utah, and you retweeted people, and you went out and said this guy is not a
Let me
left-wing
finish.
extremist.
My
He
friend-
definitely
is.
taught him
Okay.
to shoot. We
Go
can
ahead.
agree
I
on
did
that,
say
right?
My friend,
What's that?
from
His
the
family
moment-
definitely taught him to shoot. if he did kill Charlie Kirk, right? We agree on that, right?
That his family what?
Taught him to shoot.
Oh yeah, probably. I mean, yeah, I
Yeah,
think he
because-
got the gun from his grandfather, and it seems
I
like they
still
were a
don't.
hunting family or whatever.
I don't think he did it. I think that it was someone better. That was such a good shot. I don't think that fucking twink 22-year-old Robinson made it.
Right. Well, it was only 200 yards away, so if you shot at all ever, you should be able to make that. I mean, it's still, you'd have to be on your game and make it, but
That's tough. That's millimeters, you know? Like, that's
true.
If he
it's a
hits
small target. It's a small target.
If he hits here, nothing happens. Straight up.
Yeah. No, that's true.
If he hits here, he dies.
Right, right. So Michael Mahoney says, I have no reason, in fact, to conclude God exists. Yeah, I understand that. So what's your reason to conclude he doesn't? That's all I'm asking for. And then you just assert that the universe has no beginning, when in fact science would tell you that it does. So I don't even abide by that. I think there's philosophical reasons that the universe must have a beginning. But like, where do you get these baseless assertions, and why do you stick to them so aggressively, is my question. Do you have the right to kill an animal that belongs to you? Not really. It kind of depends on the circumstance. Like Henry mentioned, if it's sick or, limping, like you have a horse that broke its leg and it's more ethical to shoot the horse, then yeah, I think you do have the right to do that, of course. But are you saying that a pet and a child have the same, that you owe your pet the same responsibilities or duties that you owe your child? Because that's retarded. Otherwise, then you could keep your child in a cage in your basement while you go away on vacation and have someone drop in and put little pellets in his bowl. It's obviously two very different categories. Rational logic is quote mining the Bible Calvinistically in order to convert Michael, which fair enough. The natural person does not accept the things of the Spirit of God, but they are folly to him, and he is not able to understand them because they are spiritually discerned. Fair enough. No one can come to me unless the Father who sent me draws him, and I will raise him up on the last day. Yeah, Rational, let's rein it in on the quote mining and just shotgunning Michael, because he's not going to accept biblical quotes. He has an epistemology problem. He doesn't know what he believes or why he believes it. So if you just shotgun the Bible at him, that's not going to do anything. And that's even what the quotes you're saying are saying. So I don't know why you're even doing it. I have no interest in persuading you of anything. Yeah, I don't really have an interest in persuading you either, Michael, but you did want to debate about abortion, and so far you've not really been able to answer the questions. And then we got onto God, and you really can't answer those questions. So, I mean, I'm happy to have you stick around. That's great. But you came in very aggressive, so it seems like you did want to convince us of something, considering you're typing in all caps. Abortion is right. Abortion is not wrong. And then rational logic. If God isn't drawing you, why are you wasting your time asking religious questions instead of playing games or something of the flesh? That's a decent question. I think God is drawing Michael in. I pray that the scales fall from his eyes. I do.
Charlie Kirk was assassinated, I said, we don't know who did it. And once we found out who did it, we don't know why he did it. So let's all wait to figure out why he did it.
But we did
yesterday. Let me, Stephen.
And I remember you saying that he sold his soul to Trump before the body was cold, and criticizing his wife.
Stephen, let me finish, brother, please. And then we find out in no uncertain terms, by the way, Pierce, which I think all of us could have guessed, this was a political assassination. This 22-year-old young man hated Charlie Kirk, and so he picked up that gun and he shot him. Clearly, and as you've said, Pierce, it's clear that of late he had become radicalized with leftist ideology. There, now we know it. This will go down in history as an act of left-wing political violence. Yes.
I mean, I would say, Stephen, that is an honest statement. There from Joe, but
it's not.
But is it honest on your side, Stephen? Be honest. Is it honest to say there is no problem with violence on the political right? Because there has been historically a lot of violence associated with the far right in America. That again is just a demonstrable fact. To pretend there's never been any
By
is
what?
to be disingenuous,
Demonstrable
isn't
fact
it?
by what? No, it's not to be disingenuous. It's absolutely correct. And I understand because I've seen Joe and people of his ilk retweeting these out there. It either comes from Cato Institute or it comes from a recent Economist article. I can tell you how all of those numbers are wrong. Remember the man in Portland? Remember Aaron Danielson, who was shot dead point blank by an Antifa member? Michael Reinhold, who said, we got a Trump supporter, bang, bang, dead. That wasn't listed as political violence. Look at that chart. The year 2020, the summer of love, no political violence from the left. I could go through the methodology, and I have brilliant researchers who have. It is demonstrably untrue. No one is saying there is no violence on the right. What I am saying is that people...
Steven, he's a little worked up, man. After I saw that video of him, like, yelling at his wife, I just kind of lost all interest in him. But at least we got Don Lemon on. I love that Tucker rebranded Don Lemon as Don Lemon. That was my favorite thing. All right. Oh, that's interesting. I don't know what Steven said that agreed with what I said there, other than maybe
nothing.
Yeah, I don't think there's anything that we really agreed on there. I mean, it's not like, I'm sure his outrage is based on something, but I don't know. Stephen Cook, not gonna lie, I didn't watch the Don Lemon yet. Yeah, that's interesting. Should we cleanse our palate here? This is vaguely on topic.
Blair White. Blair, thank you so much for coming.
Thank you for having me.
You were born a boy, right?
Yeah.
Wait, it's JLP. It's JLP.
and when you were a boy, did you feel like a boy?
I guess not. No, I guess I always felt different from the time I was this high.
And what did you feel like?
I just felt like I was different from all the other, kids in school. I felt just a different essence within myself.
Do you believe it's
You
wrong?
want to suck your dad's penis?
Michael says, do you believe it is wrong to celebrate the death of Charlie Kirk? Yeah, of course. I think it's evil, demonic.
You your dad's penis and you wanted to suck it even though he was just taking a shower?
Do you think it would... hold on. Michael, do you think it's correct? Do you think it's right to celebrate the death of Mr. Kirk? I'm curious.
I felt more feminine.
I'll be right back.
You felt like a girl.
Yeah.
As a little boy, you felt like a girl.
Yeah.
How does little boys know what girls feel like?
That's a good question. I guess it's more of like feeling femininity and masculinity, not like a girl, but feeling feminine or masculine. And I was never into boy activities, never related to boys.
And so, did you feel uncomfortable being a boy but feeling like a girl? Did you think something was wrong, or did you see that as being normal?
I guess I didn't really have the words to describe it even to myself internally. It wasn't until I got older that I found the language to describe how I actually felt. But it did feel strange, and for a long time, it took a long time to really figure out what exactly it was.
And were you able to talk to your parents about it while growing up? Did you say, oh, Dad, oh, Mom, I feel like a girl even though I'm a boy?
No. I mean, I could have been able to if I had the words, like I said, but I didn't really.
As you got older and started school, kids
don't need to go back, but
what's that?
JLP asked her, how does a little boy know what it feels like to be a girl?
That's a good question, actually.
So funny, though.
That's a good question. Do you believe it is wrong to celebrate the death of Mr. Kirk? And then I said no. Then you said we are all entitled to our opinion. Do you have the courage to stand by your opinion, or are you just gonna not say what it is and then move the goalpost and ask me about the death penalty and assume that I support the death penalty, which actually you don't even know if I do, and I don't even know if I do. Openly and publicly before, I've been against the death penalty, and it's for this specific reason. Innocent people are executed by the state due to the death penalty being enacted. Now, to the question of are there people who deserve death? Yes, certainly. I just don't think the state is adequate to mete that out because they kill too many innocent people. So you just assumed I have some opinion that I don't have, and you won't even answer the question. Sick example, which is consistent to your kind. Oh, that's right. I forgot. You're a bigot. You're bigoted against children, and you're bigoted against conservatives and Christians. So welcome to the chat. I'm satisfied with my position, yeah, but you won't even state it. So are you saying you do celebrate the death of Charlie Kirk? Is that correct? Because you didn't answer that. And I'm getting the sense it's because you're too cowardly to actually stand by what your position is, because fundamentally you believe that it is the wrong one, that it is immoral and violent. But I'd just like you to say it and at least be honest and outright. Why do I need to convince you of anything? I don't even think I can convince you of anything. But you're asking me questions. Would you prefer that I don't answer your questions, dummy? Oh, these radical leftists are so crazy sometimes. They're so like, you know, and the radical right guys are too, but I'm just dealing with one of the radical leftists right now. They're so like schizophrenic. It's all over the place. But what about the death penalty? But what about Charlie Kirk? But what about abortion? But what about God? What about this and this and this? And they can't even answer a single question or state their position clearly at all. So I'll ask you one more time, Michael Mahoney, very simply. This is a very simple answer. Do you believe it is right to celebrate the death of Charlie Kirk? Yes or no? And you can qualify it if you want, but it's a yes or no question. And if you have any courage and you stand by your convictions at all, you will just answer the question instead of moving to some other topic.
All your names? Did they say you were acting like a sissy or anything like that?
Yeah, middle school was a lot of bullying for sure.
Yeah, and what was that like for you?
It was hard, but I appreciate that I went through it because it made me a lot stronger as a person.
Oh, it did?
Yeah.
And so at what point did you decide, well, I'm going to switch my body parts from man to woman?
Probably age 19 or 20.
And I've asked other people this too. What does a woman feel like?
You mean like what's it feel like to be one?
Yes. Because being a man, there are no feelings. You don't feel like a man. And I hear a lot of men who've been traumatized.
Men don't have feelings.
Being a man, there are no feelings. I love that.
You're gay.
You are gay?
Feel it at a young age and you feel sad. You started crying one day and you realized you're gay.
You are gay?
You were 7 years old. You hurt your knee and you started crying.
I love when he
You
goes,
realize that you're gay.
he goes, does God know you're gay?
Does God know you're gay?
They say that they feel like a woman. What does a woman feel like?
You know, I would never be able to know what being
Michael Mahoney goes, something wrong with Don Lemon? Okay, so you still can't answer the question. What's wrong with Don Lemon is what's wrong with you. Dishonesty. Lack of courage. No convictions. Why do I find Mr. Lemon, Don Lemon, amusing? He's just a ditzy, brainless, I don't know. He's just ditzy. It's funny. So are you still not answering the question, Michael Mahoney? Do you think it is right to celebrate the death of Charlie Kirk? Yes or no? Or are you going to keep dodging and changing and moving the goalposts and trying to answer different questions? He's silly. Silly.
Biological woman feels like, but I know what it's like to be myself and to be a trans woman. I know what it's like to be Blair White, so that's kind of what I go on. I'm just a naturally feminine person. I've always been since I was, like I said, this high, and so that's the way my life panned out because that's just what I was.
Do you think that God made a mistake by giving you boy parts, knowing that you were a girl? Like, you know how you up in heaven, they putting this body together?
Yeah,
because the father and mother's about to make a baby, right? So they putting this body together. Do you think going through the factory they made a mistake?
Well,
or something else went wrong?
Well, I don't particularly believe in God, so it's not necessarily something I could answer. If I were to accept that God exists, I would say probably not a mistake. I mean...
So you don't believe in God?
No, I don't think about it too much. I'm not like an atheist. I'm not like anti-religion, anti-God,
Right.
anti-theism at all, but I don't think about it.
And so where do you get your morality? Where do you get your values from, if not from God?
I guess just from a basic comprehension of what hurts people, what helps people, what's good and what's bad for people. I think just moving throughout the world, you kind of develop that. I don't necessarily need the Bible. Obviously, we live in a based Christian society.
You know, it's interesting, even though you have changed the body parts, you were born a boy, meaning that you're not able to get pregnant, have a child, does that concern you maybe?
If Mr. Kirk died of natural causes and his death was celebrated, would that be wrong as well? Yeah, of course. That's how Rush Limbaugh died, and I thought it was equally disgusting how people celebrated his death. So
What if
again, I'll ask you the question again, Michael, because you're a coward and you won't even answer the question. You'll just keep tu quoqueing. What aboutism? Well, what about this? Well, what about that? Well, what about this? What about that? Do you think it's proper to celebrate the death of Charlie Kirk? And I think, honestly, this is probably the last time I'm going to answer or ask you this question, because we know the answer based on what you're talking about and the questions you're asking. I think we know the answer, but I'll give you one last opportunity to have the courage of your convictions and actually stand by what you believe in and state it openly and show that you're not a coward.
Maybe you are a boy, but something else went wrong, and instead of
Also, if you really had the courage of your convictions, if you really weren't a coward, you would also join the Discord, and we could talk in person, because that's what people who really believe in their opinions do, who aren't afraid of their position and their identity and all the rest.
changing the body parts, find out what went wrong so you can get back on track.
You mean like seek a different type of help other than transition?
Right. Because if you were born a woman, you would have those parts where you would be able to at least get pregnant.
Yeah, but the thing is, there is no alternative route for people who have gender dysphoria. It's either live with it. I mean, there's no type of therapy that's proven to be successful.
But my point is, you know, God,
Including transitioning, by the way, unfortunately.
She's right.
and I know you
That's what she was
don't
saying.
believe.
No, I know, but did she? But like, even transitioning, I think, is not, like, doesn't help, right? I think that's what
Yeah.
the studies show.
I think she was saying like the only option you have is either transition or just live.
Right, but
And
even but what I'm saying is that even the transition option isn't really an option, because I don't think it helps. Maybe it helped her though, so I wouldn't. I couldn't know.
Again, she was hot.
But he created us all. He created us male and female, right? And so he doesn't make mistakes. And so he made you male. But something happened that made you think you're female.
Well, I've never thought I'm female. It's not like I look in the mirror and hallucinate and think, oh, that's a female. It's never been that. It was more of, I know to live a successful, fulfilled, and happy life, I needed to assume the life of one and live as one.
Oh,
Not necessarily. I don't think like, I don't have weird
And
hallucinations.
there we
I
have
don't
it.
think
Michael Mahoney did celebrate the death of Charlie Kirk. Great, thank you. And now, may I ask you why, or is that going to also be like a 15-minute process of me extracting this information from you like teeth? So why did you celebrate? Is it that you thought that he was fomenting violence and rage, or is it because everyone that has the opposite political opinion of you should die, or is it because you don't value human life in general, so you might as well celebrate? Why? Like, what is the basis of your belief that it's proper to celebrate the death of any person, but especially Charlie Kirk? And then you just say, I'm a fascist. Okay, fine. How could I be a fascist, Michael? I have no political power. Literally, you're so dumb you don't even know what fascist means. Definition of fascism: a system of government marked by a centralization of authority under a dictator, a capitalist economy subject to stringent governmental controls, violent suppression of the opposition. Wait a second. Violent suppression of the opposition? Thinking. Wait a second. That would make Michael the fascist. You dummy. You're the one that loved that Charlie Kirk got shot. Wait, so if violent suppression of the opposition is fascism, wait, then actually Michael is a fascist. Oh, okay. I don't understand. Yes, I did. How many times do you want me to answer, asshole? I mean, I know you answered, but you did it. It took me like 20 minutes to get you to answer. Then you just did it all at once, like 5 times. You are a fascist. Anyway, I shouldn't even just be using your tactic against you. I don't actually believe you're a fascist, but you called me one, and you don't even know what it means.
Fascist?
What's that?
I think he is.
Yeah, I mean, he is by definition, a fascist. Anybody that celebrated the death of Charlie Kirk is by definition a fascist. So it's just kind of ironic. This is what people do often. They project how they really are onto others. So you can always tell when someone's a fascist when they call you one. One, because it's a way to suppress your speech and mark you as someone who shouldn't be listened to. So that's fascism 101. But also violent suppression, which you advocate for. So it's ironic that you would call me a fascist. But I'm not surprised. So you still didn't answer why. Why exactly do you think Charlie Kirk should have died? Is it because he was a fascist? And if fascists should die, does that mean that we should celebrate your death, Michael Mahoney? Because I would never do that. Yeah. Curious what you think. And also, can I also ask another question? Why are you such a coward that you can't come into the Discord and talk in person? You don't even have to show your face. Okay, does R2-D2 know you age gay or you are gay? Does R2-D2 liar, pussy, fascist? Okay, sorry. I didn't realize that I was bullying a 12-year-old. I didn't realize that Michael was 12. Sorry, brother. Sorry. Sometimes I forget.
Is he 12? That's what I was going to say, that he might be a child.
I think he probably is a child. Yeah. Sometimes I forget that that's like always a possibility. But like, what kind of kid knows about Don Lemon? I don't know.
It's a good call, actually.
Yeah, I know you answered me. I said, why, dummy? And I asked you different questions. Pay attention, young man. That's another possibility, that he's some kind of crazy boomer. I call them effete boomers. So he could be a brainless boomer. By the way, he said, pay attention, young man, and the way he uses all caps. You are an arrogant pig. Yes! He's manifesting. The demon is manifesting in him. That's hilarious, bro. Okay, so what is the answer to the question of why you celebrated the death of Charlie Kirk? Is it because he is a fascist and a liar and a pussy like I am? Which I guess if I'm the same as Charlie Kirk, I should feel honored in that regard. And do you think political violence is justified against all quote-unquote fascists that you identify that way?
I am something I'm not. I know I'm biologically
I did
male.
hear
I was
Charlie
born that
talking
way,
about
will
how he
die
met
that
his
way.
wife, and it was creepy to me.
It was pretty what?
Did you hear the story of him talking about how he met his wife to his kids? It was so creepy.
No.
He was interviewing her for TP USA,
Uh-huh.
and then that he was her boss.
Really? He's her
Yeah.
boss? That's
Yeah.
interesting. That's how Daniel Tosh met his wife as well.
In a position of power.
Michael Mahoney, I had to ask you that question 15 times before you finally answered it. Then you answered it 40 times in a row after I asked you a different question. And now you're accusing me of like not listening or something when you won't even answer any of the questions. It's a new question. Now I asked you first, did you celebrate the death of Charlie Kirk? It took you a long time, like pulling teeth, but you did eventually answer that. I know that you answered. Yes, I think it's proper. I know. Now that you've answered that question, I have a follow-up question. I'm not sure if your dementia-addled brain can actually like handle follow-up questions, but the follow-up question is, why did you celebrate the death of Charlie Kirk? And you have not answered that. Where did you answer this? Where did you answer that the death of Charlie Kirk, the reason? I'm literally reading the chat right now. I can see the entire chat. Where did you answer that? There's not a single why in here. You're such a dummy, dude.
But luckily we live in, a society in which you can make changes to yourself, you can live the life that you want, and so I took advantage of that.
Did society make the right decision to accept this, knowing that it's not right to accept men and women who think that they're a man or a woman, blah, blah, blah? Or should society have stood with what they knew was right and help the person to overcome the problem?
Well, there was many centuries of trying.
He's back to all caps. His demon is manifesting. Hi, demon. Hi, demon that occupies Michael Mahone's body. I would not want to speak with a person such as you, quote unquote. So I guess it would be proper to kill me too, huh? I find you to be a disgusting pile of shit. And why am I a disgusting pile of shit, Michael? Out of curiosity, because I ask you questions that you won't answer.
That. I mean, there's been a lot of, failed attempts at therapy for trans people other than transition. None of them have ever worked. I'm not saying that someday there couldn't be, but the fact of the matter is transition is really the only route for people, unless you want to just tell people to live with this debilitating mental disorder and then end up killing themselves or something. But again, this is where the disconnect between you and I is going to happen, because you get your morality from the Bible and I get mine. I look at what hurts people. If they're good people, they are lawful people, they are nice people, they don't hurt anyone. So I don't think of it as oh, that's wrong to accept.
I've interviewed several people who gone through this process, and they realized it was a mistake after they've done it, and many committed suicide.
Yeah, you can always find those people, for
once
sure.
they did it, they realized it wasn't the right thing to do, but it's too late now. I don't know if you can reverse it back to whatever you came from.
Yeah.
But it's too late for them, so they end up committing suicide. And there are some facilities, hospitals, doctors that won't do it now because of the rise in suicide with transgender people.
Mm-hmm.
Have you heard about that?
Yeah, yeah.
What do you think of that?
I think that sounds like a horror story. It would be really horrible to go through changes and realize that it's not what you wanted. I think what happens is a lot of trans people have sort of the wrong mindset when it comes to transition. A lot of them live their lives in transition, like I said, is their end all be all. So that is their ultimate goal, that's what they want. And then they do it and
I just realized that it's possible that the stream is 10 minutes behind or something like that. And that's why we're having this confusion. It's actually possible. Let's see where we're welcome at. Everybody, welcome to Ramblings. Oh, was this not? Okay. I guess that was not the stream.
I'm gonna head out. Go to Discord real quick though.
Yeah, I'm gonna head out too pretty soon. Oh, jeez. I shouldn't have done that. All right, everybody. I think that's probably a good place to call it anyway, with that beautiful image seared into our brain. Michael Mahone, I would encourage you to pray. I will pray for you. I love you, brother. I have no ill will towards you. I don't know why you're yelling at me, calling me a fascist. Even if I was a fascist, wouldn't it be better to treat me with respect and try to change my mind? But anyway, God bless you. God bless you all. I pray, once again, Lord Jesus Christ, Son of God, have mercy on me, a sinner. I pray for the salvation of the soul of Charlie Kirk, that he be brought safely and comfortably into your paradise to be with you. I pray for the intercession of your mother, the Most Holy Theotokos. Please help Charlie's family, help his soul, help all of those who are affected negatively by this brutal murder. Most Holy Theotokos, save us. Amen. Thank you, everybody. I appreciate you. I'll be back tomorrow, and we'll be gaming tomorrow. We'll be doing something a little more light tomorrow. Even you, Michael Mahone, welcome. Feel free to come back anytime. And if you ever sort of grow, if you ever feel like you want to talk in person and try to actually convince me of your worldview, then I'd be really happy to have you, and we could talk in person. And if you can only use a rotary phone, then we can even do it on the phone. So I appreciate you all.